hovering around the seed embryo. Peaches, mangoes, olives, and cherries.
I
are
wouldn't think a
examples of
droopy would
fruits.
be
Droopies.
hard.
So the cartoon I watched as a child is a fruit. Okay.
Wondrous, we have fucking coconuts here.
Fucking coconuts, man.
Put the lime in the fucking coconut.
It's one of the only fruits I can eat.
Disclaimer, do not do that.
Please.
Yes, please don't fuck
Actually,
a
lime
coconut.
and coconuts do eat.
Last
Together?
session,
Okay.
we did the murder mystery.
Yeah.
Before that, you were able to stop some of the wax creatures and uncovered a symbol of Kalemvor inside one of them. You also detected that they were enlarged magically. The butler Mariusz paid you in advance of some gold to find the root cause of the abductions. And Magnus Maruska, the leader in the Villager, also paid you a bit of money for helping keep the people safe. At breakfast, you met the bishop, and Grim had another memory from his past triggered. Janus met with Magnus and realized Magnus might be the founder of his blood order. Janus met with the rat and then entered in a bargain to reverse his fortune. And we also met with Forge Master Felix Gata to begin to craft their gear for the gala the next day. The party now finds themselves face to face with Xavier and Sophia Driscoll. And I have some updated new pictures for you.
Yay.
Except I don't
Don't
remember
forget,
how.
someone turned to a vampire.
Let's look at the hotties.
Mine is still the same. Basically look like a vampire forever anyways. Gonna change.
I am infinite.
Hey, look at that Final Fantasy character.
Hey.
Is this Sophia?
That is Sophia.
Looks very
And then we have
vampire.
this is Xavier.
That's the main
And Xavier
character
is
from
the
Final
Lord,
Fantasy.
correct?
Well, they're husband and wife.
So, let me get this straight. Xavier is... What's the last name again? It's been a while.
Driscoll.
So Xavier Driscoll is... I thought there was two.
Xavier and Sophia Driscoll are the Lord and Lady of the house.
There's like a bunch of coffins down below
Okay.
with different names, but the only ones that we've heard that are around are Xavier and her, I believe.
Okay, so this is the first time we're hearing the lady's name, which is why it's a twist, as it were.
Sophia is talking to you, though, Janus.
Hmm.
And we're going to try something here. Let me know if this works.
Baby brother, look how you've grown.
Oh,
Sounds
God.
like
It works.
it's
but a
working,
little
but
too
maybe not
high-pitched
the
cutesy.
intended effect.
yeah.
It sounds a
I'm
bit
sorry.
childish rather than
Yeah.
feminine,
I like the
if that makes
idea.
sense.
Chipmunky.
But how?
Hey, son.
You've been alive for hundreds of years since you abandoned me.
And there's a pang of anger in her voice. The word abandoned is dripping with acid.
What devil have you dealt with? What did you trade for immortality?
Sophia, you can see I haven't aged much at all. Something something I was with you and left to clear my head, and then the mists took me, and I've been gone for a couple of years, and then when I had returned, hundreds of years have elapsed.
That's the best you can do? You left to clear your head? How dare you lie to me, little brother?
Chef, I would
Twisting the
like to
dagger.
use a Bloodhunter feature.
Sure. What you got?
Um, I'm trying to get the name of it right. Where did it go? Sorry, it's been legitimately a month since we've last played.
Yeah, I've been remembering how to set everything up again very quickly.
Yeah, Hunter's Bane allows me to have advantage on checks, ability checks that involve intelligence to recall information about this type of entity. I'm gonna kind of go a little bit maybe beyond the ability of Hunter's Bane, but I'm trying to discern if her memory has been adjusted or if she's being controlled through this conversation.
All right.
So
Maybe,
this would
give me a
be
perception
either
check.
Arcana or History, is what I'm going
Does
for.
perception? Is perception?
So I have Wisdom. The Hunter's Bane applies to Survival or Intelligence.
Survival or intelligence?
So any int check.
I would take a general intelligence.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna roll my DM dice for this one.
And who else is in the room, Chef?
You guys
Everybody?
are
Oh,
Is it
okay.
what?
All of us.
Yeah, we can hear you, Jodie.
That is the second
Okay,
highest
can you hear me
roll
now?
I can get on the dice. That's 24.
She seems to be in control of her facilities.
Okay.
You know, not eyes not glazed over, not charmed or anything magical. What she remembers about history, you don't know.
Okay.
You could ask.
Sophia, I don't know if there's some burning anger over me, but you're getting upset over something that was completely outside of my control. I am overwhelmed with joy to see you in this moment. I'm just a little baffled that I'm met with anger. I've been looking for you since the mists took me and somehow wandered back through them to get here.
It has taken 700 years for you to find me again, and you say you have joy. Any joy that I could have possibly had to see you again has evaporated. I just have questions. How have you survived? How have you lived this long?
It's only been about 5 or 10 years. Something like that.
Time isn't yours to control. How have you cheated death, brother?
If you cannot take me at my word, then I'm afraid I can't help you. You're the only
Give me a
family I have
persuasion
left.
check.
Yeah, I'll continue this before I roll, but I'll just say, if there's nothing that I can tell you, you're the only family I have left. I've never been one to mince words. I don't know how to speak well. I'm just trying to find my family again, and this is not what I had expected. All right.
Can I insight check Xavier if he's like, how interested is he? Is he trying to influence it in some way, or just
Maybe
curious?
first I'll just Xavier is they're both like reclining on couches in the lounge here, sipping at wine. Sophia is becoming a little bit more and more agitated, and Xavier is calm and cool and relaxed, but he is as Sophia becomes more animated, seems like he will be dragging himself into the conversation soon.
Okay, this is a flat roll for me, and I got a 13.
Mesh, did you want to insight more to see what he might be thinking, or what do you
Sure.
want to do?
I'll insight. That's a 1. Never mind.
You think he's just really focused on his wine?
Well, brother, if you claim to be mortal, perhaps the warden can rip the answers out from you. Who are your friends, though? What do they want?
Kind of just looks down. I don't remember anymore. All I've been working towards is, I need a minute. He like sits down at like the nearest armoire or anything that he can kind of like lean against or sit against anything, just kind of like very overwhelmed.
Xavier speaks up though, and he's like, Sophia, dear, meet my first wife.
Wait, what?
And he gestures to Chamilla.
Wait, what?
I don't believe we actually got married.
Semantics.
If I remember correctly.
She kind of ran away at the altar, I suppose, so certainly never consummated. She fled from the transformation.
I don't see why that's a problem. It looks like you found a beautiful wife already.
Oh, arranged marriages are beautiful in their own way, I suppose.
A lot better than kidnapping marriages.
I do apologize, but that is out of my control. I was resting at the time, and I was awoken to marry. If you're chasing after a boogeyman or an evil character in the story, it was my uncle, Lord Sevier, who was the one who abducted and arranged the marriage of both you and Sophia.
Well, I can tell by your sad excuse for an apology that I can direct some anger towards you.
I don't know what I need to apologize for.
Your uncle, is he gone?
In a twist of fate, he was in Vallaki during the incident and is no longer in this world. It's quite strange for one of our kind to be snuffed out like that.
Sophia,
Please.
does she seem like, Chef, does she seem like she's happy to be where she is?
Give me an insight check.
$20?
Right now, she is angry, but not like miserable.
She's not gonna try to kill me.
She's drinking wine and enjoying this strange company that has stumbled into her home. As for the first wife thing, she's a little intrigued, but seems to trust her husband.
Chef, sorry, could I do a perception check on the comment he made about the arranged marriage? I want to see how much truth there is behind that. It sounded
Sure.
like that he might have.
It's
I'm not sure
insight.
if he's playing it up. Insight, okay. care. Oh no, it's a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
It seems truthful.
I think realizing, kind of coming with this grips to the fact that the person that she's after isn't there, but she's also, I mean, Xavier is complacent, so she just be like, you, your family, and you by extension of everything, not caring, not changing, not helping, going through with it, and most likely will continue to, have robbed me of my family, a life with my parents, a life growing up spending time with them, and you took that from me, and you took my life from me, and you changed it. And now you just say, meet my first wife. I lost a life I could have had.
Darling, I empathize. Truly.
Rephrase that, do not call me darling.
Madame, I empathize. Truly. The ritual was never intended to be a malicious act.
Malicious, you kidnapped me. You put me in a jail cell for weeks, and you killed me.
I fear you may not have the entire picture.
I know what happened to me. Pretty sure that's a clear picture.
Did you know your parents were heavily in debt?
What does it have to do with you kidnapping me?
Your parents traded you to Lord Sevier to wipe out the debt.
Insight check?
Go for it.
You don't have any. Oh, that's a bad insight check. That's a 10.
He's telling the truth.
I'm gonna give you my inspiration. That's an important
thank
role.
you. Hopefully this time it'll be better then. Please be better for Mesh's. Oh, thank you. That's a 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Thank you, Mesh.
He's telling the truth.
Oh. Well, we know for sure now. Well, kind of. We don't know for sure, but anyway, just be like, my parents aside, it doesn't excuse what you did.
I did what I was told to. And, you seem to be alive and healthy despite the partial transformation. Although it feels something has changed more recently. But
Well, if
I would
anything,
ask, are you ashamed of the glyphs and powers that you now possess?
I'm not ashamed of who I am. I never said anything about being ashamed.
And you don't think the powers, this gift, is helping to shape that at all?
It's not helping to shape the fact that I'm not ashamed?
Well, I would just look at your paladin over there. He is a mass of muscles. His physical characteristics inspire his personality.
Is that a problem?
No, not necessarily, but
What are you getting at?
I'm just saying this gift, you may not think so, but this gift that I've given you, that I was forced to give you, that I was told to give you by Lord Sevier, has shaped you into a strong, magnificent creature.
And you want me to say thank you?
You seem to be chasing vengeance, and I hope to not be in your way.
Well, you're not my number one target. But, with this power that I have, I think you're the one Who's putting some shame? Maybe you're the ashamed one.
Is there anything I can do to...
No.
He takes a large gulp of wine, finishes the glass and sets it down. That's deeply unfortunate.
I hope that you're treating Sophia well. And I cannot, in my heart, think of anything to say bad to her. But, it's too bad you can't use a mirror because I got some things to fix.
We have painters that can prepare our portraits.
Yeah, painters that wouldn't dare to paint you how you act.
Chamilla, truly, I bear you no ill will. I was but a child when our marriage was arranged. I had no part in your abduction.
How old
And
is your
Lord
rod?
Sevier is now in the belly of no one. If you want to meet him again, you'll have to gut no one and rip his corpse from his stomach.
Well, so be it, I guess.
The door opens behind you, and a toddler runs in.
Like what?
And he runs into the arms of Sophia, who picks him up and swaddles him. Like, Kronos, good to see you again. And he
Sorry.
whispers something into Sophia's ear, and she giggles a little bit.
That's not me.
Well, Janus, is it? I suppose this was your nephew. Kronos, go say hi to your uncle.
This kind of like breaks a little bit of the 1,000-yard stare that he's just like kind of trying to calm down from a panic attack. Looks at the child. Sophia, like without looking at like anyone else, asks her, what happened with father and mother? I saw their graves. Their spirits. I don't know.
One sec.
You're asking what happened to the cowards that sold me to the highest bidder and were responsible for this gift of immortality? The Driscoll weddings have always gone the same way. The wedding in my ascendant took a week. The Markovs were asked to attend a grand reception, a week of festivities and merrymaking celebrating the new couple. The entire Driscoll clan was awoken to partake. I won't go into specifics, but the Driscolls, my new family, were stumbling and staggering, and the aftermath, drenched in blood, drunk on the gluttonous Markovs. Vampires cannot get drunk drinking wine naturally, but you can get drunk if those you feed on were heavily intoxicated. So the drunken Driscolls were only fat on the blood of the drunk Markovs after they spent weeks drinking themselves stupid. I've spent years, decades, centuries reliving that night. I watched helpless as my new brothers and sisters descended on the drunken, confused Markovs. Drugged and drunk, they were easy prey. They would laugh as their kin were ripped apart, too stupid to see death coming for them, too stupid to run away from their fate. They were not worthy to survive. The weak must be culled, and so they were. I once regretted the brutality of it all. But my heart has grown hard with understanding.
What? You're saying that father and mother, on a drunken tirade, sold out our entire family to wine, and then attended a party where they were all drunk and dry by the Driscolls, just so they could have a high for a single evening.
There was a power dynamic at play as well. The Markovs were an up-and-coming family, and to cement their place in history and in time, the Driscolls sought a strategic opportunity.
Santiago's were...
Does this sound even remotely accurate? Because this doesn't track with anything that Janus's understanding is.
You remember the graveyard, everyone had a very similar date in the Markov clan.
If this was the case for Sophia, why was I kidnapped anyways? My parents were just normal.
Well,
You were the first choice. The Santiago family had a lot more promise than the Markovs. And when you left, certain arrangements were made in your absence.
What happened to my parents?
I don't know.
This is Xavier saying this?
Yes, Xavier.
Xavier, can you corroborate any of this?
That night was a bit of a blur to me.
Don't you fucking mince words with me.
I am trying to be truthful. I
Then
enjoyed my fair share.
So what of that evening enticed my parents to sell the entirety of our clan and be motivated to do such? There is no addition in this equation that makes sense.
I don't think they sold your family out. I think the arranged marriage was initially set up with a large dowry to make it an acceptable arrangement. So
for whom?
Your parents were also in debt to various.
We are the designers of every wagon in Barovia. We serve no debt to no man.
On paper, they struggled. The materials in lavish ingredients ran bills that they couldn't catch. Wagons tend to be a purchase once type of situation, and because they were so high quality, people didn't need any more. So the business, although very prominent and very successful, was ultimately floundering.
Then he finally meets Sophia's gaze. And what if this is my fault? He's like fighting back his fear for clarity in this moment.
brother, you had no part in the massacre of the family. I don't blame you for that. I'm merely
At least you can see
curious.
some facts.
Immortality and these gifts.
None of us are immortal,
Of
not
being able
even
to
you.
live.
If you want to
If
die,
nothing
you say the
changes.
word. You want to run our family into the muck like this.
you would enter a suicide pact and end the family line firmly?
Sophia, there was a time when I hung on every word you spoke, and I would do anything for you. And yet, after 700 years of your time, and about 10 of mine, you would throw it all in the garbage upon our first meeting.
Brother, 700 years. I've waited for you to come back.
You would think after 50 you would have presumptuously thought that I had died.
I assumed that after 10, a child in Barovia wouldn't survive that long.
Then why have
After
you
20,
waited?
I have not waited. I've moved on.
Well, here we are.
I've moved on, and now I've a new legacy. And she
gestures at the child that is kind of teetering towards you.
Does
And
the
he,
little one
does the sign
speak
for uppies.
at all?
Oh, he's quiet. He does open his mouth in a big smile. You see that he does not have the telltale fangs.
I'll pick him up.
He is familiar.
I'm gonna try to meet his eyes and examine him very closely.
For vampirism?
I'm gonna commit every aspect of this child to memory. Like, Janus's intelligence is very high. He's going to analyze this and try to like take a photograph in his brain to not forget this child or any aspect of it. And if there's any hints to anything, regardless, we're talking like any avenue of any pathway, vampirism, family relations, bloodlines, Driscolls, Markovs, anything.
The child is playing with some random metal latches or straps on your gear, and you're just assessing him. And the Driscolls are watching you do this, and they are very... Their protective gaze is on you right now as you analyze their child.
What's
Well,
the
then I
wine?
suppose we are at an impasse.
What is the wine?
A curious drink. A concoction of the bishop. Not
Hmm.
quite sure. But it is
Are you
palatable.
sure you're not sure? I feel
We
like I
have-
would want to know what's in what I drink.
We have suspicions, but
You just never ask.
why spoil a good thing?
I mean, we could ask, right?
You could.
Xavier. I kind of like shift the child's one side to the other. Since Sevier met his end, how many years ago? And what has happened since? Fill me in. I have 700 years worth of conversation to catch up on.
You as
Well,
well.
Sevier was only taken recently. A few months at most, a few years maybe. Time kind of blurs, but when Velaki was erased off the map, so was Sevier. We thought he might have returned to rest and recover, but he never did. something more powerful than even our gifts, gestures at Chamilla, has taken him from the world. Perhaps that is interesting to you, if something it can end us permanently.
Ending someone is an easy way out for the things that your family is responsible for.
Sophia, I think we're going to be leaving soon, but I just wanted to leave you with, if you've ever felt hurt or anything, you're not alone. You've now met someone who's gone through the same thing as you, albeit took a different direction. I have a hard time believing that at least in the beginning you accepted this, and perhaps you have hardened yourself to it, especially for the benefit of your child, but it that wasn't part of it. If you ever want to talk, I will listen.
I have embraced my gifts, same as you. And I have a position in life now that was never once possible.
I mean, if you're happy with it, there's one thing to embrace, and then there's another to take it in this direction. You don't have to use this path, you know.
These are the musings of a young soul, and I truly cherish your youthful optimism. 700 years, lifetimes, changes how you think about things.
Well,
one day you might be closer to our way of thinking.
I'm 500 years behind you, but perhaps I'll change my mind. Who knows?
If you have any questions, we are here for you, sister.
Don't call me
I have
that.
questions.
I am not your sister. I have no family.
You have questions, Miss? What was your name again?
Just
Wait,
all
have
huddled
I
up.
been here the whole time? I thought I was
We've all
here or
been
something.
here sitting quietly, eating food, just not saying a word.
Random popcorn.
You're very quiet.
Jodie, you've disappeared.
going in and
into
out.
the
Your
stratosphere.
audio is
Come back.
gone.
No, sorry, do I have
You're
a...
glitching.
There you go.
Okay, I've been having some technical issues with Discord, so I don't know.
It sounds fine now.
Okay,
You
you
are
can hear
back.
me now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought I wasn't here. Oh, I'm confused. First of all, how old are you, Janus? Because they're talking about 700 years and all of this. How old are you?
According to what I wrote, which again is
700.
vague.
The time.
So I know when I escaped Barovia, essentially, was around age 19.
But your sister can't be 700 years old and then you...
Well,
like,
we've
the
confirmed
normal-
multiple times that there's a
Yeah.
time dilation here.
Because it sounds like I also escaped around the same time as Rob, and I'm 218, so...
Yeah. So according to Janus, he says he's about maybe late 20s. So he's probably 29, guesstimate. Like probably between 7 to 10 years, he claims.
And
So
there's a
Chamilla
third.
was kidnapped to be turned into a vampire to marry him?
Mm-hmm.
Again, Xavier.
But
Cari, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think it's interesting. I wish I could talk to Sophia in a certain way, because, like, as far as she remembers it, she was trying to escape, thus she was put in a jail cell for a week, and she finally escaped, so what was Sophia trying to do?
There was a non-compliant
Yeah,
wedding.
I'm still kind of a little gray on what she said, Chef, about, like, the selling of our family. Like,
That's something I didn't know.
it's a little vague that, like, the way I understand it, she was sold by our parents, and the parents were also responsible for selling out the entire family line, or is it someone else was responsible for that? Is that a gray area?
The parents were covering some debts and arranged the marriage to get a nice fat dowry. Beyond that, something else led to, you know, the gala in the massacre, and that's still murky to Janus.
Okay. And supposedly Xavier's dodging the question by saying it's a rough memory in a certain context, but also tells the truth based off the insight check.
Unless he was also drunk during the time.
He's not lying. He was there at his wedding, just getting hammered like the rest of the people.
Yeah.
It's
the family.
Sophia, did you not try to escape?
Silver chains are quite too strong, even now, to break.
Suppose they learned from me.
It felt like they were preparing for a different eventuality when I was married. Very interesting rings at the wedding, I'll say. Rings of silver.
You
It's
don't
not your
know why?
fault, though.
What?
Oh, it was because the former bride had escaped. So security was raised.
You're welcome, I guess.
Why would there need to be any security for even an arranged marriage?
What I still don't understand is why Sevier is. Once Sevier's out of the picture in the arranged or non-arranged weddings, whatever the hell it was, once Sevier is no longer the lord of this manor, that puts you in charge. And so what the hell's been going on since then?
Yeah, good question.
And how long, if you say that this has happened for a few quote-unquote months or years, that's the most beneficial time that we have, because the activities that you've gone up to, whether it's your doing or someone else's doing that was under Sevier, is very important to me to understand.
Well, to put a bit more context on this, the family has ruled Driscoll Manor for centuries as a whole, not as individuals. Lord Sevier takes his turn at the helm for a couple decades, and then he will go on a trip, go to retire someplace, and his nephew or niece will rule for a while. They'll come back from a journey, and once the nephew and niece rule for a few decades, and he gestures to himself, someone else steps in as the Lord and Lady of Driscoll Manor. And then when our turn is up, we go to rest. And we've rotated through the family for decades. So the family business changes depending on who is awake. So when I say I truly don't understand all of the machinations that Lord Sevier was working through, there is a period of time where I am blissfully unaware of time passing. Every so often.
So what are you trying to do?
Me and Sophia simply want to raise our child. We don't play these politics games. We don't murder the countrymen. We simply want a quiet life.
Okay. I want an insight check, or maybe intelligence check on this. There were two instances for this. When he said during the first wedding, when the family woke up, right? And then right now when you said the cycle of waking up and going back to sleep, is this some kind of hibernation cycle that they are physically have to go through?
We do have those coffins downstairs.
Yeah, and we've seen coffins down there. Is that them
that's what I wondered.
hibernating? What kind of check would this be?
For the second one, it's you're not going to be able to pass just because you don't have that information. For the first, kind of asking about the family, as Cari called out here, is you would remember like you saw a crypt with lots of sarcophaguses in it, and you didn't open any.
That's true.
So there might be some validity to it, but
I just saw their spirits looking down.
So, if you're trying to live a peaceful life, and you have people in the manor and things that Sevier was responsible for, say the bishop, perhaps, others, the rat, the butlers, whatever, the small group of people nearby that are suffering, you don't want to help other people relieve their suffering at all. You would rather just sit in the building and raise a child. Or are you in control of anything?
The staff of the manor are somewhat autonomous, I will admit. We typically pay for the best rates, and so we get the best people, but they are largely uninvolved in the larger machinations of our kind.
So you want to be removed from that?
Well, you mentioned the suffering, and we hear the rumors and the whispers and the complaints, but they all feel, and please don't take this as not caring, but they all feel so petty compared to other things. The deaths are probably the most troubling, because that is a
daily occurrence.
An opportunity taken too soon. Certainly not a daily occurrence.
If it's not a daily occurrence, then your ignorance is a daily occurrence because of it. Because the camp that is right outside here is having regular abductions and confirmed deaths.
The lands of Barovia are truly difficult for many people to adapt to. There are harsh realities here. I thought you, of all people, would be more familiar with the difficulties that the average person encounters here.
Callousness is very different than apathy. And you, sir, have both.
I don't know if he'll catch it, but Chamilla gives him a knowing I'm proud of you.
I choose to do things whether they are beneficial to me or not, for the sake of other people and to their benefit, whether they are living or dead, I might add. And I look at Chamilla, and then I also look at Maefyre.
You flounder through life through a mere 50, 60 years of adventuring until a random spike trap will end your life. The concerns of the immortal transcend what you can even consider significant. One day you will learn this too,
As
Chamilla.
a mortal, I can back up what he said. What Janus said.
The immortality has nothing to do with having any form of vision. Being able to have an end puts a sense of urgency behind things and makes you appreciate those things that are temporary. When everything is not temporary in your lifetime, the only things you can appreciate are the things that are on the shelf with a shelf life. And if you have no concern for any of the other ones, your apathy will be the reason I put another sheet of paper into my notebook for a single person that deserves to be put from immortality to the afterlife. And I will make certain that no matter what name is shared on a Driscoll grave, that they will suffer in the next life and not this one.
We don't know your current intentions or what's going on. And at the moment, all I see is a goalless, rich person bored to death out of their mind, drinking wine, drinking their life away. That's not a reason to kill you.
Xavier looks at his empty wine glass and kind of
Yeah.
just like looks at he's clearly sad about the empty wine glass at this point. He's just like,
like, that's not a reason to kill you or harm you. But if I find out that you've been causing people to disappear, or if you've been sucking people dry from their blood, then I will have a problem with you.
And I will tell you one more thing. This applies to both you and Sophia, sister. If it is possible to make you suffer and continue your immortality, that would be a far better fate for me. Because then you will still be immortal, wallowing in your ideals while infinitely suffering. But I'm not the judge.
Kronos, dear.
the toddler squirms to get back to its mother out of your arms, Janus.
I don't let go.
Janus?
Xavier and Sophia stiffen. They both sit up.
Oh, interesting that you decide to give up your cards so easily. Is this also a temporary thing that doesn't matter?
Janus?
We've said
Back
that
up.
there is one thing in this world that is important to us.
Then I will not be the one that is alone anymore. It will be you. Go along, little Ron, and I'll set him down. I have made peace with you, sister. You're no longer of my blood anymore. You have rejected it yourself. And he cries.
Sophia finishes her,
Her glass of wine.
I truly bear no anger towards you. Only towards your actions. I thoroughly despise them.
Hello.
Hey.
No, it's working. Hello. Dennis, you're better off without them, honestly. If this is correct, that they if I'm understanding this correctly, that the Driscolls basically ate the Markovs. That's what it sounds like to me.
I just put a hand on Maefyre's shoulder.
Sophia, the offer still stands. If you need to talk to somebody and turn your path around, I'll listen.
talk to me in 100 years.
Well, I got that time, so unless I get stabbed in the heart with a stake, guess I'll be fine.
You really don't understand how vampires work, do you?
It's a joke.
You will learn one way or another. It would be easier if you would let us explain things.
Oh, tell me.
You're not ready to hear the truths. You think you are, but you're not.
Well, I guess I'll live in blissful ignorance then. Don't tell me that I need to know how a vampire works and then tell me you're not going to tell me how it works.
It doesn't matter who you are, immortal or not. They're always going to get hungrier sometime.
I fear we've exhausted my patience. You're welcome to the lands of the manor. There will be an ongoing feast tonight, but we are weary from the road, and so we might retire to our chambers. The manor is considerable resources are at your disposal. If you need anything, do not hesitate to ask. Congratulations on solving the mystery. And he does a motion.
Please tell me he looks at his glass one more time. Be like, oh.
I'm assuming that this is okay, Chef, but when I had the child and was shifting back and forth, I would have liked to have put one of my Bloodhunter insignias into one of his little breastcoat pockets.
Give me a sleight of hand.
Okay. Natural 20.
Yeah.
Damn.
We will convert Kronos.
That name worries me.
I know. It's the time. That's why
Cronus.
the time's been all weird.
Cronus, yes.
It's Cronus.
Oh, sorry, Cronet.
He will either eat us or birth more gods and eat them.
Also, just for the sake of the audience, when I didn't let the child go, it's more of like having an adult strength versus a child strength. This is not child abuse, okay? It's more of like just restricting the child from leaving your grasp at when they squirm. Okay, I just want to make sure that was clear.
It didn't sound like you were trying to hurt him.
And when I let the child go, I'll kind of give him a gentle pat on the head, kind of fix his hair.
All right, I think we could take a break though.
Okay.
Inspiration to Cari and Rob.
Thank you.
What's that mean?
You're like,
I didn't do fucking shit.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. It's cool. It's cool.
I didn't realize that Sophia had also succumbed to my fate as well.
I'm just confused.
Well, it's not succumbed to my fate because I
Right, hold on.
escaped the fate.
Also, screw you, Chamilla, for ruining my sister.
I escaped. She's
You're
just not
responsible.
She's just not
This
smart
is going to
enough
be a
figure
really
out
good
how to
conversation
escape.
later, by the way.
Hey, it's not my fault.
We will have words.
I'm happy. That'll be nice for them to talk about it.
Mhm.
Like as far as Chamilla knew, she's like, well, I'm super tall. Maybe they wanted to marry a super tall human. Who knows? 'Cause I don't know why they took me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna restart Discord. It's not working for
we
me.
can hear you. Can you not hear
We
us?
can hear
No, what happens is there'll be like a funny like I'll hear you all cut out and then my audio cuts out. So I know that I it's like disconnecting. I don't know, like I don't know what's
you.
going
Are you on a wired headset or wireless?
on. No, I'm on a wired headset on the PC.
I think we had trouble with the wired one last time.
Yeah.
We had to switch
do
to
you
wireless.
Try that.
Yeah.
Good thing we're on a break.
You could also just
Yeah.
patch in on your phone with the headset and see if that's the headset problem or if it's a Discord issue.
I might only be able to play by text. We'll see.
Oh no.
I'll keep an.
So just to confirm
Yeah, there
one
it goes
thing,
again.
Mm-hmm.
Chamilla, when you were locked up, what kind of chains did you have?
I'm assuming they weren't silver. I
Yeah.
never really went into detail of that. I don't think I was chained. I think I was just in a jail cell.
Because I'm going back to that one guy in the swamp.
Yeah, he had silver chains as well.
Yeah, so.
Mesh, are you half elf?
Hmm.
Yeah, wood elf.
What up? And Goldy, you're
Hey,
Goliath?
I'm Goliath. I'm Goliath with the blonde hair.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. All I know is that I had the ceremony that transformed me into Dampier. But that was like it had begun and was gonna be like solidified at the marriage thing by escape before that, which is why the thing didn't complete.
Hmm.
And no, I was not his first wife. I escaped. Vows were not said.
We have
Honeymoons
at
were not had.
least
Yes.
we have at least 3 sets of time dilations going
Yeah.
completely separately.
I have-
Yeah,
Mesh
'cause
was 20 years, I think.
So my
and
working
dead.
theory is that the time dilation has 2 locations.
Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2.
It's the
Can you hear me
moment.
now?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you. It's the moment when anyone, moves in and out of Barovia. That's one possible time dilation location. And the other is that while in Barovia, it feels weird. So even though a day elapses for someone, it may not for another. Which is why they're corroborating that it's a couple months or a couple years. It kind of just feels the same. It also could be we're talking to the wrong people about time dilation confirmations because they have no perspective of time due to hundreds of years and apathy and corrosion of basically their general
I wonder if
what's it called? Their general ethics code.
ethics, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, could I retroactively ask, how does the kid look like? Any?
There's a picture.
There's a
There's a
picture of
picture
him.
in
Yeah.
there. Faye.
Oh,
He
the
looks
picture-
like
have any
he looks like
fangs,
Wrath.
though.
It looks like he's from an
Yeah,
Pride.
it's like Raph.
Pride, yeah, sorry. Wrath is the dad, yeah. I get them mixed
He
up.
doesn't look.
What is-
It doesn't look like Raph. Well, he's. Yeah.
No, he's from a
Yeah,
show,
Pride.
and he
Pride.
is
Pride.
Pride.
Yeah.
It's Pride, yeah.
Pride. That's
I'm thinking of the other kid.
What show?
You know what's interesting
Okay.
in that show? Pride looks also a lot like the kid from Erased. If you've ever seen Erased,
I see it. I see
Bokuga
it. The main
Inaimachi,
character.
yeah, something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I see it. Huh. Are we gonna have to kill a kid at the end of this session to fix
No.
things?
no.
He will not.
no,
hurt
that will
kids.
never happen in our
Okay.
games. Yeah,
Cool.
Nope.
Cool. I'm glad we just nipped that in the bud. Haha. Get
We're
it
not
in the
even
bud?
going to harm a child.
That's funny because you thought you could hurt the kid with both of his parents there too.
it was more of
Well,
just like
that would be
using the child to prove a point rather than it was to injure it.
I know that you wouldn't have actually.
yes,
tried
yes.
Absolutely
it was-
not. Yeah.
It's tense, to say the least.
Yeah, I like wanted to tread the line very tightly there.
Chamilla was trying to get you to stop because it was like, okay, this is bordering on their type of tactics, and we need to stay away from those type of tactics.
Yeah,
I didn't say it, but I was like quietly putting my hand.
it was
on
a
my
difference
palm
to
of
show
my weapon.
control. Was the big
Yeah.
thing is that despite being far younger, like less than half a century old, to have
Yeah.
that manner of perspective in the moment is big
It's-
comparatively to them.
Camilla's not being used to being told she's young.
Right,
So
yeah.
That was interesting. She was like,
You gotta
I mean,
try
technically,
it.
yeah.
It's
young
such a
kids are
shame
really
that
young.
Dallan couldn't be here for this. He'd be like, "Ooh, this is
Oh,
juicy."
yeah.
So Dallan, if you're rewatching the VOD, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, that would have been cool to have you here. But now we know that we're connected somehow. I think it's gonna be an awkward conversation like, oh, that could have been me, and I could have had a child, and
So-
that was your sister.
I wonder
so-
if the this is just above
Yeah.
the table. I'm actually very curious if the bishop is also manipulating the wine to provoke apathy. You know what I mean? Like it's like a
Yeah.
catalyst for dulling the
was wondering that
senses,
too.
just similar to alcohol. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like we're talking in a more eternal sense. Or like if they're getting blood from like weird stuff.
Mhm.
Because we need to go investigate that as a priority. But the
We
interesting
do.
thing is
I did.
I think the rat told me
You
I wanted to he wanted me to basically dispose of that vineyard in so many words, or the person responsible. And so like this conversation is like, maybe the rat's not the bad guy here.
Yeah.
Like, at least fully the bad guy.
It seems like at least Xavier and Sophia are just like apathetic rich people who don't really care. Like it doesn't seem
No,
like they
I think
have
they're just
evil
I think
intent.
it's just another twist on the same thing, right? Like each of these lords and ladies come in, some of them are
Yeah.
very aggressive and some of them are very controlling and others of them are very much just apathetic. They just do whatever the fuck they want. and the way that power manifests is very different for different people, especially those that are immortal. So this is a very good take, and I really appreciate it. But it sucks that it's Sophia. So
yeah,
it's like my
Maybe we can
entire
turn it
character's
around.
identity is gone now. I have nothing to live
I
for.
put that offer out to her to be like, hey, if you need someone to talk, I've
Yeah.
kind of been through a little.
This no one figure is going to be very interesting once we can investigate it, but I feel like
Yeah.
it's going to be piecemeal.
Yeah.
Also, the angel, is it an angel? What was it called again? It wasn't a solar, was it? Planetar?
You just know it as the Angel of Velaki.
A celestial is the word I'm looking for. Sorry, a celestial.
Yeah, it's a celestial
Yeah,
being.
the celestial is in Old Velaki. Is that correct? Like outside of Old Velaki, or inside
just
of?
kind of wandering that area.
Okay, yeah.
Oh wait, I'm gonna ask Chef something.
I'm just gonna retroactively say throughout that entire time I was just eating and I had a bottle of wine in my hand. I chose not to give it to him.
Back.
Well, I must say that was quite entertaining. I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable. Are you two all right?
I think we're still on break until Cari gets back. No. No.
A little click in my neck.
Sorry, Cari. No, thank you. A little bit of Janus attitude carry over there.
Did you two have an inkling about the dynamic between each other before this conversation?
Do you mean like, did we know each other?
Like, any sense, anything about, like, you're not quite connected, but there is, like, you literally pass each other in the connection lines.
I would have to verify. I'm assuming, because I didn't write what city I'm from. But I know my parents are buried in the Velaki graveyard. And obviously I was first, but I don't know how many years before they got Sophia I escaped.
I have not been checking chat if people have been communicating. No, okay.
Nope.
Just us today. Oh, we have some decent viewer today. It's just people ain't talking. Listening and lurking, baby.
Hello,
I mean, this is a drama episode. Everyone's eating their food, going.
Everyone's just out getting popcorn.
Quick! It's one of those episodes. we never found a room, did we? With a prison, right? Or where a prison could be. We found like a torture room. Remember that?
I don't think we did.
Never found silver chains on a wall.
Chains on a wall. But she said that she has a silver ring band, Sophia, so perhaps it's kind of what's chaining her to this area. She could still be changed to this day.
Well, the thing is, Cari, any magic item can do anything they want. As can a Geash spell, I guess is what it's called, the Geash spell. So there's loads of things that could literally just be taking their faculties away. Or it could be just plain and simple. They're evil pieces of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be anything. But we got to play into the ideals and or flaws that we have as characters and just run it. Regardless of what we think.
I do not buy that they are still in power in this particular landscape and are still like, I don't care, it means nothing to me. Like, no, you gotta do something to keep this position. They're fibbers.
Well,
don't know what
we just start taking things one by one. We can start with like the vineyard and the bishop and stuff and move around until they feel like they have to intervene, and then their apathy can no longer be sit on a high tower. And they have to come down.
Do you think as a necromancer has some juicy details to tell us now?
We've got a lot of people that we don't know about yet, guys. Like,
True.
There's a huge area that
I'm very curious about the
has
bishop.
probably much better people than the graveyard, a random sketchy ass celestial,
Rat-
and then an old
Rat
hag in a
man.
hut. You know what I mean?
The Citadel, where
Don't forget
yeah,
the rat man.
The
the
what?
Citadel, where
Rat
people
man.
were drinking the wine as
The
well,
rack man.
where Dally's parents were.
Oh, the rat guy. Sorry.
I know pirates are like low totem in terms of like all of this, but I'm still counting them as well.
The
like-
funny thing is, the rat guy's like been the most honest with us of any person we've talked
He
to.
seems fine to me.
He's just
He
like
is
he's like a greedy piece of shit. He's very easy to read.
After this, he wants the coin. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
always
what's
trust
the
a
meme?
greedy
It's
man to
like
be greedy.
the memes. What is it? Thank you. Have a nice day. Something like that.
Well,
Thank you, come again.
No. It's just like the
Thank you, you too.
understandable. Have a nice day. That's the
Oh,
one.
okay.
Greedy piece of shit. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Do you know the merchant in Resident Evil 4? Like he just turns up everywhere without any.
You
any
buying?
explanation of
What are you
why.
selling?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's just
That guy.
I half expect Ratman to suddenly pop up and it's like, how did you get here? It's like, I've always been here. Would you like to buy something?
The only restriction is how much space my tent needs. Isn't there a Resident
But it's
Evil like
bigger on the
cart
inside.
where it like opens up? The more recent one of the more recent ones. 8. Yeah. That one kind of the traveling one.
The big guy who has like all these fancy weapons. Yeah, I still prefer the merchant.
Yeah. The
Welcome.
infinite pockets, man.
That's my
God.
my
Maya
one
he.
shot character that I bring all the time, Momo. She's a halfling inventor and she has a pop-up shop.
Yeah, but her
She
pop-up
brings
shop
it
is 100% spray bottles.
Well,
It is spray bottles. She invented the spray bottle and the toothbrush.
So she's a halfling. So she's like,
Did you not hear about
No,
this
sorry,
yet, Chef?
she's not a halfling. She's a gnome. so
She's a gnome,
even
yeah.
shorter.
also like, you're
Yeah.
like,
Welcome.
"Welcome."
If you
Like,
got
I
a
can't-
list,
She's an artificer,
I can't-
Chef, and all
She's
she
an
does is like
artificer.
when she casts spells, it's a spray
Fancy thing.
bottle. So she like goes
Yeah, so if she
for
does like
cure
healing
wounds.
words, she'll just
Just
spray
like
you.
it's like my Big Fat Greek Wedding where they like spray like Windex and everything. That's her character. Just spraying
Mhm.
Windex on it.
I bring her to like every one shot thing I do for the most part.
Your
I'll have to
wounds
bring
are
her with you
healed.
guys.
You've also been blinded for a time.
We did it
Yeah.
like
once.
this.
She did it once.
When,
This is Milo,
um,
my familiar.
Jodie, can you try talking again? Can you hear us?
Hey.
Yeah,
Yay.
Okay, I think it's
Oh,
working.
no.
It's working.
yeah.
Right.
It might be the word thing. I don't know, man. That's just weird.
It's either like if you're using a different device with the same headset, then it's either a device or an internet issue.
I had talked
Well,
to
I'm
her
using
about
the
maybe
same-
being the port where her headphones
It could also
go
be the
in,
port, yeah.
because she tried 2 different headphones last time and neither of them worked. But when she switched to her Wi-Fi, it worked. Or not Wi-Fi. When
Yeah,
she switched to the
wireless.
blue wireless.
Mm.
Yeah, well, it's working now. It might be that. I hope it's not the fucking port because this port's never been touched. It's just on the side of this
Mm.
laptop.
Yeah, laptop ports are notorious for going bad.
Oh, the
No,
hell's
really.
we come to the point where we're going to get a lot of sales going on. So if you want to replenish certain hardwares, now's the time.
But this laptop's only like a year and a half old.
I don't mean the laptop. I meant like the the headphones, ports, extendable wires, stuff like
I
that.
need a new like desktop PC. That's what I need.
You need a PlayStation 5 Pro.
You get a PlayStation goddamn 5.
I
Pro.
will
Is it-
not.
nobody
Not
needs
even
that.
They
a
charge you
year.
the fucking
Not
arm and a
even a
leg
year.
for that fucking thing. They're taking a piss.
They are.
No,
Chef,
I
are we
don't even
on
use the PlayStation 5 I have?
Are we on the map, like the Barovia map on Roll20? Let me just
I'm gonna do
check.
an open
I
roll
see a
20.
chef and
I'm
I
just gonna open it
see
real
a
quick.
K-Cat.
I will move you to whereabouts you are.
Because I think we're in the manor still. Yeah. That's what it looks like here.
Inside.
There we all are.
Ooh, Roll20
No,
is
no, no.
chugging today. My goodness, it's slow. There we go.
Is it? It's fine for me. Do you have like the hardware acceleration on?
Oh yeah, I just have a lot of
Off.
tabs opened that are on
Oh.
D&D Beyond with like a creation thing. Okay.
Oh.
There's some weird things with the new weapon mastery stuff I need to figure out.
Well, you
Not for this
guys-
game.
Yeah.
The party is abruptly shooed away from the lounge.
back.
And you head out into the hallway, and there's a stream of party goers heading out to the balcony for an evening resumption of the activities. Wine is flowing, and there's this joy that's starkly different to the conversation that you just left.
We should have stayed out here. As I grab more food. Are you two okay?
I think I'm processing now, so I don't really feel anything yet.
I'm gonna hand my handkerchief to Janus. Here,
And what am I supposed to do with that?
your tears.
He like touches his eyes.
You didn't notice you were crying?
Wipes it with his hands. Puts it on the rag and then doesn't take it. Thanks.
I tuck it back into my. Yes. Honestly, I have no idea how to process all this. This is.
Well,
maybe
one
I'll
thing's for
stop.
sure, there are certain things that don't add up. I'd
Um,
like to believe
yeah.
that my parents didn't steal me.
Can I quickly do a perception check to see if there's anyone paying attention to us right now?
The guests?
There's a steady stream of people heading up the stairs out onto the balcony, and they are far too drunk, enjoying the festivities to care about you guys.
Can we see the bishop anywhere?
Yeah, you see him in a group of people heading out to the balcony, and he's got a cask under one arm, well equipped for the evening.
I'm just tracking him. Best I can.
So he'll be out on the patio, making merry,
Should we
in
go
close
talk
proximity to High Priest Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Who told us about the shapeshifter and where we're coming here? I forget.
The angel.
Angel, right?
to him? I'd like to just put a hand on Janus's shoulder. I think what you're processing and what I'm processing are different. But we have some things that are same. I'm here. I hope there's
We're all
no
here.
hard
Now's not the
feelings
time for
towards
talking.
me.
But I don't have anything
Yeah.
to say to you at the moment.
Yes, let us wine and dine and.
Let us not whine. I do not feel like whining after what they talked about.
Oh, dining? I just
Dining
feel like-
will... Well, you go ahead
Yeah.
and dine.
Oh, well.
I
I'm
can't eat
sure-
anything. But I'll watch you and remember what it tastes like. Although, to be
And I-
honest, I'm
and
not
I-
really even craving it. It
That-
kind of makes me sick
I
looking at it.
pull on what's your fucking character's name? Goldie, I forgot him.
Oh, Renok. Hello, I'm Renok. Are you that drunk?
I pull on Renok's leg. I pull on his leg because I'm obviously I'm small. I pull on
Yes,
his leg and
yes.
say, "You,
Oh, hello there.
did you not hear what they said?" And I try and shut him up because he's saying inappropriate stuff. They don't feel like eating after that.
I'm sorry. It's like I bring joy to the world. I don't know how to deal with this. Food makes me happy. I assume it makes them
Okay,
happy.
just come over here. There's more food over here. Come here.
No, I'm not a puppy. It's fine. I try to screw you off.
It's true, you're not a puppy.
Look, just tell us what to do next, because I am a little bit perplexed about what is the next course of action here.
Who are you talking to?
To the group.
We have a couple things that we can focus on. First, rest. Today's over, as far as I'm concerned. There's a couple other activities that we might be able to do in that area to Kelemvor, if we wish. Just to take a quick gander. I don't think that it would be wise to go after the High Priest or the Bishop this evening. Keeping our cards a little bit tighter might be advantageous. But ending them gives us nothing information-wise and doesn't give us an upper hand anywhere. So to that end, we might need to follow them tomorrow or figure out some more details with them if we so choose. We can also leave. We can investigate the vineyard. That is something that the rat told me I need to take care of. We need to find out what happened to the owner there, and then get some hard evidence. And then if anyone has disrupted the business, end them.
That's not a bad idea because it connects back to the disappearances and those like squishy wax people.
We also
After
don't
what
know
happened
anything
to the
about
bishop.
where they went, so we're still kind of at a loss of where the wax people end. We kind of hit a dead end there.
Well, I mean,
Well,
after
we
what
know-
happened tonight, I would love to go and investigate the wine vineyard.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go check up on the bishop and the high priest. Like, everyone's distracted right now. If there's ever a time to just figure things out, it's now.
Like, just talk to them.
Those two are
They seem
going to
to
be
be
inebriated and
drunk.
unhelpful. Except for
But
the
they
one
might
that's
give
undead.
information
It might-
that they wouldn't normally give.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. They are pretty drunk.
I don't know how powerful Sophia and Xavier have become, despite
True.
the amount of talk that we just gave them. They were very clearly unafraid.
Yeah.
Chef, are they currently? Where are the bishop and the high the bishop?
They're
On the patio.
outside on the patio, drunk. They seem like
Then-
they'll be occupied for quite some time with the size of the, like, it was like a miniature cask, probably like 40, 50 glasses of wine in there.
Then I propose instead maybe we should go have a little look at their rooms, because they're not using it right now. I feel like a paladin should be saying this, but why
I
not?
mean,
Well-
that or they're not going to be at the vineyard.
All the vineyard.
But isn't it night? How can we invest? Is it a good idea to go investigate a vineyard at night?
If people
I'd
aren't
prefer
there.
the night. The sun kind of irritates me.
Well, you know what I mean, just in terms of seeing.
I love the Cari just like, I'm not too hungry. The night is better.
Hey, I am who I am now, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it.
Okay, well,
But I'm not going to use it for bad.
well.
What's the time right now? Are we aware of how long the night is?
It is the wee hours of the morning. Party
Yeah,
will
we're not
continue
much.
until sunrise, most likely.
Don't have much time.
Is
Well,
our
we
is
still
the
have
is the
to
butler
outfits.
visible, or is he retired?
He's out on the balcony with the Ambrose drinking.
If there's a
Should
way
we
to
do it
try
in
to
the morning
non-verbally get his
because-
attention, I'm gonna try to get his attention just to kind of bring him
Isn't
away from
everyone-
them for a bit. Just say hi.
What's that, Jodie?
I was gonna say, right, if everyone's getting drunk tonight and they're gonna be up to the wee hours, if we get up at the wee hours, they'll all still be asleep anyway, and we'll have sunlight.
Or we can just do it now and have the dead of the night as our cover.
Mariusz, right? Yeah.
Mariusz is the butler. You're trying to get the attention of
Mariusz.
Mariusz, the butler?
Mhm.
Or are you the... Yeah, Mariusz will appear at your beck and call here. Sir, you rang?
Mariusz, I just wanted to inform you that if we are missing tomorrow, that is by design. We might be leaving the manor without warning, just for the day.
Or dead.
There are often people missing after these types of parties, I'm afraid. Just drunk and wandering, but most people make their way back in time. So I will not be too worried, but I appreciate the information nonetheless.
Sorry, I actually key into that last bit. Sorry, most people.
What
happened?
Most people. What?
What happened to the people who don't?
They
turn
just-
What happened to the people that don't turn up?
up? Wait,
They'd
do I
probably
have an
just
echo?
go home.
I wonder.
If you wake up in a bush someplace and you're closer to home than to the manor, then you just make a decision. Or if you're in a state of undress, perhaps there's too much shame to come back to fetch your trousers.
I do have a
So-
question for you, Mariusz, about the bishop and the high
Mhm.
priest. Are they ever seen separate?
Why, yes, of course. The bishop resides here, and the high priest Ambrose will return to Crescent shortly after the festivities conclude, I suspect.
And which direction is Crescent from the manor? This is for Rob, not for Janus. He would know.
Southwest.
Southwest. Okay. So we have
I
not
was
been to
thinking
Crescent yet,
northeast.
correct?
It's the exact
been to
opposite
Crescent.
wrong.
Okay. Is it reasonable to assume that Crescent could not be the location of where any of these wax figures are coming from? Based on
Why
the
did we
information
get
you've been
Crescent's
given.
Crescent?
like
We were
a day
thinking
away.
Didn't we hear the direction where they were
Okay.
going? We saw them.
Weren't
didn't
they? They were.
They
I
were
thought
like
they were
northeast,
going
almost directly
towards
opposite
the
direction
wine-
wise.
The
Yeah.
wine place. The
What's
vineyard.
northeast
Well,
of the
We
manor?
thought they were going.
Do we know?
They scaled the manor walls, and the manor is surrounded by walls. So
Yeah.
for them to climb over the walls
Mhm.
means they're probably going someplace into the manor.
Mm-hmm.
I
But they
put
came
down
from the north, right?
I put down something in general for everyone.
Okay, so they're right. Thank you. Talk with the pirate.
Yeah, I should have expected this.
Talk with the skeleton pope. What does no one be beg mean?
Big bad evil guy. He's the guy in the.
Creation.
Yeah,
How's that
Maefyre,
an
do you want to
objective?
talk with the high priest still, or no? Are you fed up with this person?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I mean, I am fed up with this person. I'm fed up with all of this. I don't know. I need to sleep on it. That man. Let's speak to Rat Man.
Well,
I'm
it seems that
good.
Grim has already retired to his chambers a bit early in that conversation. Not
Oh,
too.
yeah, I forgot he's not here.
Yeah, he decided to retire before we met with the Driscolls, so I'll fill him in.
Okay, so then, out of character, would it be a good idea to then just do the investigation with the vineyard and stuff like that, just asking questions so we're not doing anything too, so that Daddy can catch up next week.
Well, we can start heading that direction, and then by the time we arrive, then Dallan will probably be back.
Okay.
But the real question is that where we want to go? Because we now know that the high priest, sorry, the bishop lives here, the high priest is from Crescent, and that no longer, like currently, the high priest is not at Crescent, which means that we can investigate it without him interfering directly at the moment, to our knowledge. All the asterisks there. But if he's got people back there, then there's that. And then we don't know where there's any other potential allies yet. We haven't tried to like... So if it's not listed as something that's an objective for us, we haven't gone to a lot of different places to find people that would help us. The only people that have really been able to help us has been the people that we helped out in that little squatter camp.
That's true.
With Grimm's spyglass, maybe in parentheses we can do the Citadel.
The Citadel?
The Citadel where he's seeing...
Can you kick us to the Barovia map for a second,
his
Chef, so we can
flashback.
see the big map?
Of course, but
Please?
We saw his parent... I don't remember if we saw... I know that we saw the flashback of the Citadel, but I don't remember if all of us saw his parents drinking wine, or what looked like to be his parents. We don't know for sure, or if that was just him.
How urgent was the stuff with the pirates, Mesh? This is Janus asking you.
I'm not really keen on going back there unless there's something more urgent.
Well, everything seems to be relatively equal urgency at the moment. The pirates
Most
do
of
seem to
them
be
are
much
actually-
closer than the rest.
I personally want to find out what's in the wine just because I know it satiates me, and that makes me a little unsettled.
These people.
You remember that vial of red liquid we found in the basement?
Yes.
I was running some tests. It seems to have a similar makeup to the wine. It could be a precursor. And it has very addictive properties. So
Okay.
I would avoid keeping it as your regular sustenance.
In that case, I'll just... hey, if you guys can help by getting squirrels or anything like that, that would probably
What?
help. To eat.
Wouldn't
Where's the vineyard
about you
kind of
catch
reference
squirrels?
wise? Do we have any
Well, I
knowledge
can,
of
but I
that?
said, could
Show?
you help?
Where's what?
Did,
Reference-wise?
did Mariusz or the Ratman tell us, like, relatively speaking, where we can go to get to the vineyards? Because I'm not really seeing a marked area to look for it.
You know from history that there's a winery called the Wizards of Wines that would be defunct a long time ago, but it's somewhere south of Kresik. You know,
And Kresik is south of the windmill, or is that the is
No,
that
Kresik
the
is
is that down by the lake? Eden?
Kresik's over here.
Over where? Sorry.
Top left.
Kresik is the gateway to the west. There's a valley further to the west, and Kresik is like a
Oh, I see it now.
fortress. It was where when the wars of long ago were happening, Kresik was the staging ground for all of the campaigns further west out of Barovia.
And we don't know that. We know that no one is in Castle Barovia, Ravenloft, rather.
Yep.
Okay.
Along with Edda.
Huh?
Edda. Right? That's her name? The black blob?
Yep.
Black blob. Oh, the one that helped us rest creepily.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe we can commission Edda to help us go against no one.
So, Monsieur Blob, I have a question for you. Will you help me? Okay, so Kresik and then South Kresik is Vineyard, roughly speaking.
Roughly speak.
Okay. So if we're gonna go to the Vineyard, this is Janus talking. If we're gonna go to the Vineyard, Kresik seems like a pit stop that's very feasible here. Unless we want to stay here and try to spin our wheels, trying to figure out what the hell the bishop is up to in this place, and continue investigating the the candle abductions.
Candles.
Well, wax people that are
There's
able to
also
run
the
everywhere.
person in the. There's also the undead person caged in the library. I'm curious about.
Undead person in the library.
In the library?
Velen.
Oh, right. We saw. Who's that?
Why would we care about her?
We don't. I'm just curious.
Sorry.
Yeah. We as characters wouldn't care about her. No.
No,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we would care about an undead person being in a cage. I think
Yes,
that's
that's-
a fair assessment.
In a cage? Yeah, I'm curious. Like,
Why is
You
this-
were trying to find people that had been alive for a long time.
Was
That maybe
she in like a
opposed to the rule
specific
of the Lord
area?
and Lady.
I don't remember where she was.
She was
Back room
behind
of the library.
library.
We saw in the crack in the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the crack in the wall looking in
With the
to
crack in
the
wall.
You were wall cracking?
library.
We
Yeah.
walked.
And again, everyone is at the party right now,
We
except
could
for
go.
probably the people in cages.
Maybe this is a good time to go talk to Velen then.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
That's an easy read.
Can I also
Do we
just say
know?
that
Do we know her name?
No.
No, we
Nope.
just know it's an undead person and
There's some whammon in a cage.
The librarian did say the name.
Hmm.
We
That's all we
could
have.
Assume that.
Yeah.
We could assume that, but that's about it.
Also, I had searched a library earlier and found a book that was titled like The Adventures of Velen or something.
Oh, really?
The Adventures of Swiss
7.
Family Robinson.
Or like The
The
Diary
Adventures
of Velen.
of Magnificent Velen
Harpers.
or +7.
All right,
The
so
Adventures of Swiss
there's no one
Harpers.
here,
Yeah.
correct? When we were just wandering around.
The halls are sparse. There's a few
we see the-
drunk people wandering around, but you close the door behind you and people will laugh and point, but not. They will be.
Did we see the librarian out
I'll
drinking?
just give him a look like,
Yeah, the librarian was out there.
I open up the
Okay.
doors like, get your my head out the
Who are we
gutters.
missing?
I'm not there.
Goldie?
Grim's not there.
he said that
Well,
stuff
Grim is
was
asleep.
possibly
I don't know where
addictive.
Janus is.
Yeah, where's the hell's my token, my guy?
Put it down. Put it
Yeah.
Hang on,
Put
I'm
down
looking.
that token.
I was
down the wine.
at one point I was with the rat
Wine.
guy, so maybe I'm on the wrong layer.
Is that wine the only beverage
Actually-
available here?
actually,
There
no,
must
no.
have other
I don't
wines.
know.
Yeah, there's other drinks.
Let's pretend that
White-
happened in
white
Velen,
wine.
so we can talk
The
about it.
white wine?
You might know.
Wah
Oh,
wah.
okay.
Yeah, you can have some white wine.
Yeah, has some wah wah.
Wah,
Wah
wah.
wah. Wah wah.
I don't care for wine at
The
all.
white wine is not.
Real life?
not the-
Yeah,
the
I don't care for
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
it's
see my
like
token
drink,
anywhere
like-
either.
Rubbing alcohol. It's just like,
I grabbed it now.
Okay.
I just put it in.
yeah, it's like.
Okay, cheers.
I remember once.
You guys make your way into the library and close the door behind you, and the sounds of the party fades out.
Oh, they think we're perverts. Do you hear them laughing? Disgusting.
So what's this about someone in a cage in the library? It seems like an odd place to put a cage.
True.
That's why I was curious.
Hello! I actually shout
Oh,
out.
what the hell?
Don't say so loud as if someone comes in.
They closed. They don't care. They know what we're doing, which we're not.
You are the most indiscreet person. Oh my god.
Shut up.
Someone who's working here who's not drunk might hear.
If you say
let's go with
hello,
some-
you need to do some fucking listening afterwards. So shut the fuck up. Where is this person?
It was around here as I started walking up. I think we saw
I would probably know
the librarian talking over here,
Yep.
because we were over
and
here.
then she went to the back room.
Is this door
You,
locked?
You try the door, and this one is locked.
Are there hidden door?
No, okay.
All right, who's good at lockpicking?
God damn it!
I
James
start
is asleep.
cracking my knuckles.
Grim's the one that does it usually.
Well, I have.
Do I have it? I have it. Okay, I have it. I
Okay.
have it. I have it. Okay.
Are you sure I have 2 lock picking devices right here? That wasn't there
That's
before.
not picking. That's not picking.
How much
Okay,
have
I
you
do
got
have
to drink?
thieves' tools.
So apparently, if you've
I
got
do have
proficiency in
thieves'
thieves' tools and sleight of hand, it should be sleight of hand check with advantage.
I do not have proficiency in thieves.
I
Well, then
have
it's
a
just
thieves tool.
proficiency.
I have a thieves tool proficiency, not sleight of hand proficiency.
Then
Although
it's just
I
a roll.
argue that I should have proficiency in it if I'm a locksmith, but
I'm gonna
I-
wander around.
Jeff didn't agree
I
with
have
me. Yeah.
half proficiency. Can I help him?
So
Chef.
is this a dex check with my proficiency? That's thieves.
Oh,
Are you-
sorry. I
are you
have
trying to
proficiency with
lockpick?
sleight of hand.
Yes, I have thieves tools.
Okay.
Could I help him since I have
Roll
proficiency
a
with sleight of
sleight
hand?
of hand. Yeah.
While they're
Sleight
doing
of
that-
hand, not thieves tool.
Isn't it?
It's a different thing, right? Sleight of hand is just dex. I don't have proficiency in sleight of hand, but I have proficiency in thieves tools. Would that be dex plus proficiency or not?
If you have the tools, it gives you the proficiency on your dexterity check. So it's
Dex
yes,
plus
it's a
proficiency.
dex plus proficiency.
Okay. And if Cari is helping,
I'm
sorry,
helping because I have
Chamilla is
proficiency
helping.
in sleight of hand.
Put your fingers here.
Yeah, just put some pressure up here.
Chef, while
You're
that's
gonna
happening,
feel a
can I
little
just,
pressure.
wander around and just look around for things.
11 plus 5, 16.
The door goes.
Do I
Ooh.
find anything?
The lock doesn't open, but Goldy, you do, or Renok looks around and sees the keys are just on the table next to a bottle of
What the
wine.
hell?
Every time Mesh has tried to open a door, there's always keys available.
We're all like focused.
Okay, so you're focused, and I lean forward in my kind of somewhat drunken stupor.
This reminds me of when you guys were in the upside down place and you're trying to like pick the locks and you go to the next room and there's a key.
So, the keys fit into the lock and the doors clicks open.
Amazing.
Look at that.
All right,
Good job.
I contributed. Ha!
You'd contribute even more if you just would be a bit more quiet.
Hey,
You're not wrong.
credit where credit's due.
At least
And
he didn't break the door down.
keys are still not as
Inside
loud as
this
his
room,
armor.
This is like a weird kind of trophy room where, as to the left as you enter, you see a longer hallway and a stone door at the end, but there's all sorts of relics and golden apparatus, lots of unfamiliar foreign looking things, a helmet with one horn ripped off, and one side of the room is a kind of a steel grate barricading half of the room, and inside is a undead woman who is reading a book, and she looks up at you kind of boredly over the top of her spectacles.
And her eye patch?
Oh, well, this ought to be good.
Does she have an eye patch on?
Does she still have her eye
Hello
patch?
there.
She
What happened to you?
does not have an eye patch.
Wait, what?
Oh, so we see an
Makes
eye
sense.
socket.
She doesn't probably need it after she's undead.
She's got both eyes.
Oh.
Wait, but I thought Velen had one eye.
Oh, okay, I get it.
This felon has
She
two.
just chooses to wear an eye patch, bitch. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I just wake up every morning. Which eye was it again?
He has to mark the eye to remember.
So are you guys gonna start fucking, or are you gonna start stealing?
Is that a choice?
Do you see
And I
both
immediately-
often?
And I immediately start grabbing stuff.
How often is either of those options an occurrence?
Well,
During parties such as these, quite common.
what is there left to steal?
Well, these are all fakes now. They've been swapped out for the real ones in preparation of the party. So I would advise you to stop stuffing your britches with bronze trinkets.
Well,
As for
let's
the
start
fucking,
with.
That's up to you.
Do you want to start with some pleasantries and try to start
well,
over? My
we
name's
came
Janus.
We came to see you, actually.
We wanted to talk to you.
I am Renok.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
Would you care to share your name with us?
My name is Velen Hopel.
Oh, I found a book on you.
Oh, really now?
I don't know where I
Go
put
on.
it.
You seem to be undead. What's up with that?
Why are you even locked in here?
Rude.
And that's
When I
pretty
hit rock
comfortable for a kind of prison.
Like the other trophies here, I'm here to be on display.
Why?
Because I have outlived every lord and lady of the manor as an undead partial lich.
Partial.
But,
Is this of your own volition?
Does
It
look
was.
like that? She's in a cage.
The undead lich thing.
Do you have any knowledge of what's been going on since you've outlived them?
I hear whispers and get stray tidbits of information from Mela, but it's mostly quiet here.
Do you do
I'm
more
not saying
reading
you
or writing?
outlived them.
I've read almost every book in this godforsaken library at this point.
Could I ask for some assistance with some new reading?
Some new reading.
What's hot right now?
If there's a new book here, I'd be more than happy to read it. If you want old readings, I can share any insights I've gathered over the years.
No books, journal entries.
Journal entries.
With missing puzzle pieces, which I imagine is quite fascinating to you.
There are no journals of note. Bunch of old idiots.
We've collected them outside of the library.
She is intrigued and is like, I should like to see them. Hold them up to the glass for me. I will tell you what I can.
I'll give her a sample of the first page of one of the alchemist journals, and then as I do this, I'll say, this is the first one. If you're willing to kind of help us out and answer a couple questions, there might be more.
A traveler through Barovia. Partially written here. It looks like you've done good work to reclaim the writings.
That's right. Some of them are in order.
Interesting. Very interesting.
What do you make of it?
Looks like a misguided individual trying to take down the powers that be. Is Strahd still Lord of the Lands? Because that is clearly who they're referencing.
Yeah, he is. Sort of.
No
In a
one
way.
is.
No.
And in a way,
He's,
no.
He exists.
I appreciate the confused answers because it is all correct.
You
The
guys
answer isn't
are
easy.
a veritable treasure trove of literacy. Your
Well.
eloquence is stunning.
Ah, thank you.
Well, actually, why don't I tell you you can help us figure it out? We met Strahd. He is a ghost and he is tied to his castle. So I don't know if he's still in charge or not.
So Strahd is dead,
In a way.
partially.
Mostly.
Yeah,
Kind of in the same way as
Again.
you are.
sort of.
There is one inevitable thing in this land, and it is Strahd. Whatever has put him down is a force to be reckoned with.
That's what we want to know because he's tied to that. He can't leave. He can't
Do
even
you know-
go beyond the grounds of the. He can't even go inside the manor.
Yeah, before we share more information with Velen, perhaps you can answer a couple more questions with us, if that's all right with you.
Of course. Give me another page.
We didn't ask any questions for the first one.
But I've given you information.
About what?
Strahd.
I thought you were just being nice. He smiles.
Thought I was just being. Oh, dear God.
Well, how about one question you may want to answer?
Yeah.
If we could release you, can we?
There's magical bindings on these wall panels. You break one and the warden will be alerted in a moment. And I would expect in short order, at least a few of you would be pulp.
Who's the warden?
The warden?
The warden is Mela's husband. A staunch little dwarf fellow. Quite good at lovemaking, so I've heard through the walls. But him and his golem would be responding to all incidents of theft or escape as it happens.
But just
are you
to
motivated
be
to
clear
leave?
for myself, you're owned, quote unquote, by the Driscolls, not Mela.
Maefyre.
Yes, Mela's a harmless
Mela.
thing. It's the Driscolls that kept me here. The endless rotation of lords.
Hmm.
Some ignore me, some talk to me, others use me. Just a lovely experience with them. And you were asking if I were to leave? Well, part of the reason I'm here is because my experiments in lichdom have mostly failed I've successfully fragmented my soul, but someone now holds that and is, instead of nurturing it and allowing me to regain my strength, is holding me hostage. So if so much as a stiff breeze hits me, I will probably be rendered unconscious until my undead nature reforms. I actually was dragged here bit by a pack of wolves, my dismembered hands dragging parts of me closer to trying to seek some form of safety. And that is when the Driscolls decided to keep me as a trophy of long past generations, and a constant reminder of my failure to ascend.
Do you hate anyone here?
Ascend where?
Ascend into lichdom, my darling.
Do you hate
Do I
anyone
hate
here?
anyone here?
Yeah.
I hate everyone.
Mood.
How? I mean, how did you get here to Barovia?
I walked a long time ago with a party of people. We were searching for whatever doodad or whatever trinket was necessary to save the world, and I hoped to come here in search of ever more knowledge and power. And I gained a fair bit of knowledge, and I was at the cusp of power. But here I linger.
Are any of them still alive?
I don't believe so.
Hmm.
Most
Sorry to
would
hear
be
that.
succumbing to natural age at this point.
Hmm.
Is there anything we can do for you?
If you can free my soul from the one holding it hostage, I will be empowered once more. I will regrow into my former self as a full lich. So that would be the most pressing concern.
If you
Is
were
that
to be an
beneficial
ally
to
to
us?
us, if you become we help you become a lich, will you be our ally?
That sounds like a proposition.
It
If
is a
you help me
proposition.
become a lich, I will certainly be indebted to you to some degree. Whether or not we are allies, I've just met you. I don't fuck on the first date.
Fair enough.
Unusual need to bring all that up. Let me ask you this: as a lich, would you still have your own faculties? It's my understanding once one turns to a lich, in time you lose yourself.
With weaker forms, maybe, but I am ascending to a perfect lich.
Oh. Is that... I think your
And
notes
who's-
talk about a perfect lich.
And who does
I
have
show her
your
another page. She's given us a lot.
soul? Who holds your soul at this point?
Baba Lysaga.
I know her.
We have run into her.
She was the one who completed the last of the puzzle pieces on becoming a perfect lich. There is a certain number of souls that must be traded, and she provided a good portion of them. But then when my soul was fragmented and I was at my weakest, she trapped it away, unable to stopping the ascension from completing. So I sit here
So
weak and incomplete for eternity.
So she stole your homework.
She stole my soul.
Same thing. Did she do what you did for herself? Do you have any way of knowing?
I believe she is a perfect lich or even beyond at this point. Her power is unmatched.
She's
in my
claiming to keep
travels.
some things, like multiple things, at bay at any given
Yeah.
moment in this realm, at least
Once-
currently.
Perhaps more details than perhaps necessary, but a perfect lich, once they fragment their soul once, they can fragment those fragments once they have regrown and grow infinitely more powerful over time. With the time that she has spent fragmenting and regrowing, I would not question her power.
That sounds similar to no one, or like the exact opposite. No one isn't fracturing souls; it's gathering souls.
Oh, God damn it. I
Who
remember
is
now.
this no one?
It was a creature that was made by a celestial being, and it takes souls and fuses them together to make a more powerful one. So the opposite of fracturing one.
Yes, but there's some form of annihilation going on when the souls are
Yes.
merged.
Absolutely.
If you have a being that can consume and merge the power of souls, that is depending on who they eat, a very formidable opportunity, I would say.
The
If
interesting
no one-
thing is that it wasn't started that way. The celestial being had
Wasn't
started with the
started.
created it from the souls by merging them together, but from willful souls to be merged with one another and to be lost to that
believe then-
beings, and then they got too strong, and now it does the consuming on its own
It's also, from
and
what
has
I
taken over
understand,
Barovia's castle.
yeah, its goal, from what I understand of what she made it, is so that the soul would be stronger to fight against the evils. And I
Fight
think it's
against
just
the
gotten-
evils.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least that was the
Saga says
intention.
she's fighting against evil.
It's all terribly vague.
Well, that is the nature of things in Barovia. Is there's always a shadow lurking behind every corner and crevice. You never know where the deepest evil lies.
Or literally,
This
we've
creature
seen a
you're
shadow
describing, if it has its faculties, quite a formidable creature. Perhaps, if it is inhabiting the castle Strahd, perhaps has some leverage over Strahd himself. Has this creature interacted with Lysaga?
Not that we know of.
Not that we know of, yeah.
Lysaga's not exactly happy about it because it took away the body, I guess you could say, of Strahd, and she seems to be personally invested in him.
Well, Lysaga, if anything, is practical over any familial relationship she may have with Strahd. So, if you suspect this is supposed to be a champion of the realm, perhaps this creature is stronger or as strong as Strahd, or perhaps just has potential.
Hmm.
It's interesting. Interesting. And she goes back to reading the other note that you've pasted on the glass.
And also, I'm all ears about these alchemists. Supposedly, one of them traveled towards Crescent, so I'm a little interested to go see that.
Alchemists in these lands. There used to be one wandering around the manor, and he disappeared abruptly a long time ago.
We had
Do you
been
have a
told
name
there
for that
might be
person?
one here.
Alchemist from the manor. What was his name? I believe his name was Zosimos.
Can you spell that for me, Chef? Sorry.
I don't know how to spell it.
Ah, you made me spit on my thing.
That's way too many Z's for me to remember.
Yeah, tissue.
Zosimos, okay.
Oh, Zozimos.
Zosimimosas.
I could go for some Zozis.
Do you have any other monikers that we can go by, like build, look, race, eye color, hair color? If he was an alchemist, was he she?
Zosimos was a man. An interesting fellow. I will have to dig into my memory banks here to figure out what he looks like. Come back in a little bit and I will have a better image of him.
Okay. Okay, chef. Sounds good. Dallan, how long have you been around?
Behind her on the walls, you can see tallies.
You're an intelligent one.
The walls.
You're not one to lose track of time.
Each mock is a century. I've been here for what feels like an eternity.
Okay. Well,
I have not lost track of time. I have just stopped caring.
Mesh, can you ask her about the vial and the wine?
As Mesh kind of approaches the glass here, she
yes,
both hands stares at him for a moment. And just...
Do I know you? Motherfucker.
Interesting.
Do you know anything about this thing we found in the basement? Seems to have some blood as a component of some sort, and it has addictive properties very similar to the wine everybody's been drinking here.
Zosimos was working on something like that. He disappeared abruptly, I'll say. Perhaps he had a breakthrough of some kind with what he was working with. He would occasionally consult me when he was very stuck on problems, but we always were communicating under supervision, and so the exact nature of things had to be subtle. But as I understand it, the material that he was working with had to be extracted from living creatures.
I knew it.
So did he have a vineyard? South of Kresnik?
Zosimos?
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I think he had a brother who owned a vineyard or something.
Perhaps they were collaborating?
Sorry, what was that?
I said perhaps they were collaborating?
Well, a master alchemist in a sommelier vineyard. Perhaps some opportunities for collaboration, yes.
Because we have also heard that the vineyard owner has vanished, and we're trying to figure out what happened.
Well, Zosimos disappeared years ago. I believe as a human he wouldn't be alive anymore. But you know how humans are. They are a infestation that survives. So there's likely tendrils of Zosimos or his kin still running about, lost in the darkness.
I like how you phrase that, but okay.
I'll take it as a compliment. We find a way.
And you, my dear, are especially intriguing. Have you had a bit too much of the wine? Breathed too deeply of the
no, I
the
haven't.
air in the manor, I'll say?
I haven't, thankfully. However, Do you remember a time where there was festivities for a wedding at all?
The last wedding, well, under the present lord and lady, the festivities are pretty boring comparatively. It was under the other
Savior.
lords and ladies where there were more violence.
Violence.
But there's been quite a while since there were the more carnal parties.
Well, I was a result of that violence.
I don't think there was a lot of living creatures resulting from the violence. You might be one of the ones more partaking in the violence.
Oh no, no.
Intriguing.
So, do you know how the current lady of the house became to become the lady of the house?
There's a family history book buried somewhere in the library that describes... You have to read through the lines a little bit on these history books because they'll give you a new name, a new face, the distant cousin coming to town. But once you start to see the similarities, you see the cycles of the family repeating, and I can tell that you guys have already caught on to some of that. But yes. I've traced the history back of the present. I believe she goes Sophia.
Yes, she does.
She married into the family quite some time ago.
Yes. Did you hear of a bride that had run away prior to her coming into the family?
Now it makes sense.
That's why I was offended by the human. I was born one.
We were all born human. We can't change that.
Mock it.
Speak for yourself.
That's a massive lore drop.
Pardon, my dear. We were all born
Humanoid, but you and I.
We were all born with an expiration date. How about that? Except some of us have now decided to change that. I don't think you were willingly. Fair enough.
I just realized my passive insight is 15, so I would go. You keep eyeing me on the side. Do you have anything to say?
Do you like him? You're the one that's talking about all the fucking.
Carnal pleasures and all of this.
Apparently, I do not have anything further to share with you.
Oh.
I'm gonna chime up. Mesh, what are you referring to?
I don't know. Something's going on. He's hiding something.
I am.
I don't know. I can't.
I like wave another sheet of paper loosely.
No, my friend, I need a bigger trophy, something juicier than a few lost pages of a wayward alchemist.
Like what? I've been persuaded before.
Well, we offered to get your piece of soul back. Well, we're offering now. We're offering to do
Well,
that.
that's a promise of future pleasure, I'm afraid, from her point of view.
My soul from the saga. We will more than talk.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
That's a big ass.
Yes,
It is.
but I would like
Okay,
to do
how about
that,
this?
But,
Go, continue. I'll finish
but
after.
you understand that is going to require a tremendous amount of time of which you have to trust us with certain information.
The information I have that I'm holding close to my chest is not pertinent.
If we were to help her, though, to your point there, Renok, we would need some sort of opinions on how to take something from the clutches of someone as vast as Baba Saga to help you out.
Yeah,
That's a pretty big ask from our point of view.
We need
So if you could help us out there.
Information to do that.
Yeah.
You can't
You will
go
not
in
be
blind.
stealing it from Lysaga. You will need to bargain.
So you're
She
saying
will
that we'd have to
raise
take
up
another
that.
deal to get a deal with you, is what you're referring to?
It's deals all the way down.
And
It is Barovia after all. It is predictable.
I'm thinking.
So already in what 3 deals now? With different parties.
I don't have a deal with
Uh,
anybody.
Where's that rat man?
She does sniff the air though, and
Hmm.
you, the big one, come here.
Hmm?
Come
Uh,
here.
Okay. So,
She,
and I do not want to do what you think I want to do. It just no.
Renok, she's been one of the most helpful people we've talked to, and the most
She's also
honest.
She's
What
also talked about
about sex repeatedly. I'm
yes.
yes.
She's a fossil.
You have to forgive. Forgive me for trying, but that's not what I wanted.
She is a fossil.
I merely wanted a whiff.
Oh, fucking-
Okay.
You have a scent to you that is also unique.
Ever since I've come to this place, it seems like everyone seems to suss it out so easily. Why is that?
Because you stink.
You
I've
indeed do stink.
done it once. I did it once. It's the booze, which
It's
I have
not
now
the
stopped
booze,
drinking.
it's your blood, Renok. You
You're,
stink.
What?
you carry no symbols of gods, yet you wield the abilities of a paladin. Who is your patron, good sir?
Why do you ask?
This shouldn't be a difficult question.
Yes, but Sorry,
She grins like, so you don't know who your patron is? I do.
Wait, what?
Janus raises an eyebrow. I thought it was just masquerading as a paladin.
Powers come from the divine. Some just don't know it, apparently. In whatever deal that has been signed for your life, your talents, set you on a course. I would suggest you talk with some of your brethren to understand where your powers are coming from a little bit more fully.
We'll have to find them.
Are they here in the manor? Or are you
You
afraid
met
of someone
one.
else? I did meet one.
But I didn't
They
know that
have
because I was asleep.
very good ways of sniffing out their companions.
I believe we've already been scouted.
I believe there's another one hiding in here somewhere.
What? But why is this important? Why would you tell me this so freely?
I believe in destiny to a degree. When lives are as short as yours, knowing what's going on in that brief glimmer where you exist is more important than anything else. And so I want you to understand your true purpose. I want to bring you a bit of insight, give meaning to the chaos, give meaning to the entropy. So I give you this information freely.
Janus is like genuinely surprised and grateful for that statement. Villain, that was oddly
Profound.
poetic. You have been reading a lot.
If that's the case, you seem to have your ears to the ground. Do you know about who's been squatting in the walls? There seems to be somebody peeking around.
My ears to the ground as much as I can. I don't. I haven't heard about any disappearances.
This is a side note, and you can come back to this if you'd like, but my friend here, Maefyre, worships the god Kalimvor? but it seems the worship here is different. Do you know anything about him in your reading, and perhaps why it seems tainted here?
I do indeed. It sounds like you are not from these lands if you know of the true Kelemvor faith. There was a bit of a schism, the first schism actually, in the Church of Kelemvor, split between Barovia and the normal plane of existence. And here, worship of Kelemvor has taken a slightly different turn. With a lot of the core tenements of their faith being changed completely. If you are truly from the Outer Realms, then Maefyre, I'm sure my existence here is a bit of an abomination to you, but I'm sure you've met High Priest Wachter. And
well,
I'm sure he was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it certainly was.
As with all things in Barovia, you have to be open to differing opinions on lots of things. But the church itself in Kelemvor, the Church of Kelemvor in Barovia, is a much darker place than the rest of the lands. But perhaps it needs to be. Barovia is a much darker place than most other places. You find people bending the rules of their morality a lot more here. And I would just let you know, if you decide to smite me and lay me out, good cleric, I'll be back within a week.
Good to know, but it doesn't really suit my purposes for you to be dispatched right now, since you have a lot of information and could be a potential ally.
So you already are changing your convictions. Beautiful, beautiful.
I'm not changing anything. I have objectives to be met.
And what are your objectives?
I don't feel like I need to give you that information.
Excuse
Got
me,
nothing to do
sorry.
with just
I've
nothing to
touched
do
a
with what we're
nerve.
talking about.
We are just
Has it-
talking.
Well, at least I have nerves.
Velen, do you know much of the families of Barovia? And their debts?
And their deaths. The
No,
rise
not
and fall
deaths.
of the
Sorry, debts.
debts.
Yeah.
Ooh. The political scheme is often moved by gold. There's subtext on a lot of books in history. A lot of those things aren't written down in public libraries, but when people do inexplicable things for undiscernible reasons, you can make assumptions that there's leverage being applied. So there have been lots of inexplicable political shifts throughout history.
Did you know any of my ancestors, the Markovs?
The Markov family. That is quite some time.
Been around here a long time.
I know their timeline and the abrupt end. If you claim to be a Markov, apparently their timeline continued elsewhere.
As far as
But
I'm
no,
concerned, I'm the last living one.
The last... So there's someone else.
Well, there was. until they gave up their bloodline.
Sophia. Interesting. But that
She's
you now
revoked
have
it,
a nephew.
as far as I know.
You know that right now too. Little Kronos. Probably the closest thing to a relative you have left in the world.
Yeah, even more so than my sister, I'm afraid.
Oh, so you're one of those people who thinks you give away mortality and you lose your life?
I don't know how the vampirism works yet. I haven't finished my research on it yet. But it seems that at least the intention that Sophia has made is to remove herself from the Markov name. So whether it be by choice or by fact, I'm trying to honor her intention.
Well, why
even
do
if
you
it's
clutch
misguided.
onto the Markov name so tightly? What's left of it for you?
The memories of those that I've lost that chose to be a Markov, they live on. And so I am their legacy, not my own.
Those that chose to be a Markov. Interesting again that you think that that's something you get to pick. Not many get to pick which families they are part of. Sophia has picked. But
She
picked
seems to be
now
misguided.
after she
yeah.
was forced.
Exactly. We will see, Velen. I have a little bit more of my ideals, and I've not been soiled by time yet. Perhaps I'll come around to your way of thinking in a couple hundred years. Perhaps not.
You don't reek of... You don't have that particular smell that you'll live quite a long time, unless something changes.
It's a shame my sister in 700 years of life hasn't figured that out.
Time changes people.
It does.
You yourself mentioned liches lose their mind. Imagine what vampires go through with the hunger chasing after them.
Can only imagine. It doesn't give them any more
Yes,
excuse, though.
We can only imagine. And she stares at Chamilla.
She just gave me like a.
Well, I'm not here to make any more enemies today. If we can help each other, so be it. But
well, tell that old fucker Lasaga I say hi and see what she wants for my soul.
he grins. Anything to try to anything to put another schism in the schisms, I suppose. If I see her again, I'll be sure to give her your regards. But for now, I think we need to head in a different direction. And if you can provide any details about the missing parts of these logs, I'll share the rest of them with you.
Parts. Let me see.
I just thought of a stupid name for the group.
What?
What?
Schismception.
Gizception.
What?
You're right, it is stupid.
It's really
Yep.
stupid.
I was like, I don't like it, but I see where you're coming from.
Doesn't make any sense.
The living and the dead.
Here is a bit more of the information on liches. The part about killing a lich, I think, is not appropriate to share.
I wonder why.
I can see why.
As for the vampires,
Could come in handy someday, I suppose.
Oh, fuck off.
What do you know of vampires, by the way? Could you share that information?
I'm filling in some gaps on the notes to your friend here. She's sharing some notes. I don't have a better way
Got
to
it.
just
Yeah, it's
paste the
fine.
full things. But these are incomplete, though. I don't.
Yeah, we haven't gotten the whole list yet. We need to go to Krezik to hopefully find some more pieces.
And werewolves too.
Yeah, very disjointed, but it
Werewolves.
seems like all of these seem to be
Creatures.
linked with souls and blood. Those are the
People
common
that can
threads.
change into animals.
We
It's
met one
interesting
actually.
topic.
Yeah, not
You
druidic
met a
power.
werewolf.
We did, but he's been chained for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
I was about to share it. Let me see if I can find it in my notes real quick.
Andoril or something like that?
Let's see. And
Okay, that's not that time. Also, I found some stuff about Servier. Just remind me, I'll mention it later. Cari, do you have it?
Aidenril.
Aidenril. How's that guy doing?
Neadra. Aidenril Neadra, yeah.
Well, he's staring at the ceiling.
he's
He's happily locked up,
Sir,
supposedly.
that- oh,
content.
I thought you said staring at the ceiling dead. I was like, that's
Oh,
interesting.
no, I just
No.
meant he's
No,
been
he's-
locked away for
no,
a
he's
while.
Locked up?
Happily locked up
Do
for
you
the
know
past 100 years or
whereabouts?
so. Swamps,
The
near the swamps.
swamp.
Oh.
South of it. But he doesn't want to be let go.
The
He doesn't
swamp
trust
warden is the
himself.
one who keeps him there,
Mhm.
supposedly.
Well, perhaps he just needs someone to hold his leash more firmly.
He said
Well,
something
that's-
along those lines.
It's good that he still has his wits about him. Powerful creature.
Hmm.
If you see him again, do let him know I say hello as well.
We are looking into getting rid of his not vampirism, his
is-
lycism.
Yeah,
Lycanthropy.
Yeah,
Lycanism.
lycanthropy, thank you.
Well,
So-
like many people who have been given power that they don't fully understand, he understands his, and I believe he'd be more hesitant to lose it.
Hmm.
But power comes at different costs.
What information can you give me on vampires?
What information do you want?
Well, I was told I didn't quite understand them when it came to dying. Do you know of how
Vampires
to kill them?
can't die.
Not
That
at
is-
all.
The most basic tenet of vampirism.
Not
Or
even
if
with
you-
a stake through the heart?
What if
Or
you don't
light?
feed?
A stake through the heart. If the vampire is not in their crypt, we'll send them to their crypt in their mist form.
But in their crypt?
A true vampire in the crypt will be paralyzed indefinitely by a stake. They will not die.
If you were to take the stake out,
If
would they
the
be
stakes take
unbalanced?
out,
Velen,
They
I
will
have a
begin
theory.
to heal and regenerate once more.
I have a
see.
theory on that, actually.
Okay.
I've been working on something.
This ought to be good.
I need to complete the notes about the liches. And, ironically, the lycanthropes as well. But I believe that if the blood itself can be manipulated, that they indeed can be forced out permanently. But only from
can
someone
always-
that is a true alchemist. Someone that is a master of hemicraft. I need to work on it more, but these notes are very important to
So
me.
curing by removing.
I don't think it would be a cure. I think it would. It's a process ending. But I don't believe that the body and soul or life itself would be sustained in the process. I think it would just have to be removed.
Ejection probably is the right term.
If my research ends up coming across something else, perhaps the vampirism side of things can be removed and the body and mind and whatnot can be restored to its original state. But if someone like my sister of 700 years undergoes this process as a human, you can see that that type of process may turn someone that was once immortal into a husk. So I don't think that it's sustainable. But I've been wrong before, and this research is very preliminary.
I think your sister has the same mind that she had prior. She's just let her surroundings change
I think
her.
that's a fair point, but that's not my point. My point is that the body won't be able to sustain it.
I do
once
know
the blood
you need
is
the blood
changed.
of the vampire that changed the creature. So we would probably need Xavier's if we wanted to take her blood. Savior's, sorry, not Xavier's. Savior's blood if we wanted to remove her vampirism.
Yeah.
Javier.
Well, the interesting thing about vampirism is it forms family bonds through who turned you. So if you share the blood, you share the blood of who turned you. So perhaps you already have exactly what you're looking for.
He did call me sister. Perhaps that's what he meant.
Yes, I haven't quite figured out if I need the origin or if I can just take one of the main bloodlines, similar to what you would say a pure-blooded family, right? They have people that stay within the family. If I can take that aspect of the blood and isolate it, perhaps I can work with it. Or
take
it would
some
be
of my
easier.
blood.
It would be far easier if I could get Xavier's, because he's the true bloodline.
Well, yeah, but you could study mine.
A word of caution. Your blood magic is very powerful when you inflict curses and damage to one blood relative. There's offering effects to others as well.
I'm aware.
So if you are trying to destroy the vampirism in one of your family members, it likely impacts all of them.
That is both unfortunate and, fortunately, the intention.
There are other ways to secure immortality, though. Don't lose hope yet.
Well, anyways, I was just sharing this with you because you were so kind on the notes. If you come across anything else that helps fill in the gaps in my research.
If I come across anything else, bring me more notes, and that you come across.
That was what I was getting
expect
at.
to be let out.
That was what I was getting at. Perhaps we'll let you out on good behavior. He smiles.
There you go.
As I mentioned, even if I were to get out, I would be a permanent guest here without having any strength to protect myself on the roads. An ant that looks at me wrong would prove to be a difficult challenge.
Maybe
I know the Barovia roads are difficult.
Maybe we have something that Baba Lysaga wants along the way. She can be bargained with. We'll see.
I have one last question. Sorry, about vampires.
If it truly is the last question, make it a good one.
Well,
I have
also
many,
a question,
but
so
I will
please
end with
continue.
this. I have no coffin yet. This is my unfortunate resting grounds.
Coffin is just aesthetics more than anything. If this is your resting ground, you can find rest in just about any place here. Wherever you lay your head in this vicinity will become your haven of return.
So the dining room.
Dining room? Oh dear.
Hey, I'd
Oh,
much rather reform there.
I won't even ask why you were sleeping in the dining room, but I know the wine can be intoxicating.
Oh, it wasn't the wine, don't worry. I think it's 'cause of several days of not sleep.
to stay awake too long.
Yeah, well, that's my fault.
Renok, do you want to
Oh,
ask
thank
any more questions about yourself here?
Well, actually, I have one question about vampirism. I'm just kind of curious about. What happens when a vampire cannot feed, like at all?
They wither.
But don't
Weaken.
die.
Become
can't
more
do that.
sensitive to all of their ailments. Their strength diminishes.
But they never die.
It's like being hangry
They
all the
become
time.
feral. They become rabid.
Huh.
They don't die, but they become something else.
I think we encountered a couple of them in the swamps.
We
did we
did.
not?
Yes.
But they were able to be killed with a stake, which means that they weren't true vampires?
I believe
There are
thralls.
vampire-like Dampiers and thralls can have very many similarities to vampires, but they can be killed in more easy ways. So if they weren't true vampires, if they were feral, if they had gone off the wagon, they will change into something that's easier to kill.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Hmm.
Don't starve.
Yeah, Renok.
How
I really want to
long
know
was-
why you stink.
Why Renok stinks?
He's smelled
He
ever
doesn't
since
smell
we
to
came
me.
here.
Doesn't stink. He just has an odor.
Well, he has the
that?
lycanthropy
scent.
scent.
A bear,
Similarity.
Bear odor?
It's just
I can turn into a bear.
He smells
Oh,
like
I know,
bear,
dear.
right?
But do you know
Well-
why?
Oh.
I do not.
You know?
I have an idea, but I just know that there are packs of like-minded individuals. Not even like-minded, like-abled individuals that are searching for those same answers.
Would you say they might be lichen-minded?
Lichen is specifically
Wolves.
werewolf.
Yeah.
Look, so she's answering you seriously.
I'm being silly, but yes.
This is more, there's a term for it. It's those that can willingly change into animals.
Shapeshift?
Yeah, so it's just
It's not quite. Shapeshifters can change into anything.
changing.
Or anyone.
Changeling?
Where,
Changing.
Shifter?
Ditto? Sorry.
Druid?
where people?
Where the closest one that I
Vampires?
have is Animagus, but that is a bit more from
An
the
anamorph?
fantastical realm.
From a teenage novels that you've been into in this library?
That was a
Oh,
happy
I'm
laugh.
sorry.
That book.
Jodie, that was such a happy laugh.
It is a different breed to be able to change willingly into an animal and back.
Well,
That is a unique group of people that should probably spend some time getting to know if you want to truly know what you are.
let me ask you this much at least.
Remember.
Are you...
Is this,
Stop
is this
that.
something that I would willingly have chose, or was it thrusted upon me? Could it have been thrusted upon me?
Greatness! Sorry. I'm gonna mute myself.
Are you asking me for your history? Because that is one thing that is not in the library.
I guess I am asking you questions that I need to go find out for myself.
Where might we find some other bear folk?
Just follow your nose.
The west. We have to head west.
That's 3 strikes to the west. Krezek, the vineyard, and you, motherfucker.
And I think one of Grimm's things is also pointing.
Grim did say that there was a node out in the west, so I think we have our compass rose pointed.
I have one other favor.
What?
I had a traveling companion by the name of Scant. He's
What did he look like? Gnome, human.
He wasn't some kind of ball.
He's a
was he?
floating orb. He's a
I
floating
was
orb of
joking.
knowledge.
Floating orb of
understand.
knowledge.
But we have become separated.
Was he a
He was,
dismembered head?
No,
He'd
it's
be
a
in a
crystal ball.
library?
A crystal ball.
Kinda
Oh
like
my
a
god.
fortune
Okay.
teller ball.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
when I was weakened, he was forcefully taken from me by some random passerbys on the road. Now, him being a rather intelligent, crafty sort, I imagine he's done quite well for himself wherever he has landed. But
All right.
if you can find where he ended up, I should very much like to have him return to me.
I don't suppose one of your the comrades might have collected him. I have no frame of time here, but is that possible?
She said there was
It's
all
possible. It was not one that claimed him, but it's possible that one of them has him now.
Do you
Alright,
have, do you,
I don't
do
know.
you have a
them would
lead?
be alive now?
But she said they would.
would it
I would
happen 10 years
imagine
ago?
all of those companions would be dead. Just,
Right,
if
this was
anything, by age.
If this was hundreds of years ago.
So
Yeah.
you lost this scant several centuries ago. This
It's been quite some time, yes.
Where were you separated from Scant?
On the road to the manor someplace. It was,
Okay.
any landmarks possibly you can illuminate for us?
You didn't
I
happen
passed
to.
by an old windmill along. It was somewhere along the road. Centuries later, I doubt a shiny crystal ball would
Be in the
remain
same
there.
place,
You're gonna
yeah.
have to find someone.
No
The
way.
windmill.
Right,
Mesh,
it's a start. When the
isn't that
windmill's there,
where
yeah.
your companion died as well?
Yes.
Hmm.
Do you know anything about that windmill?
The windmill. There's some ghost stories and rumors about the windmill. Oh, they used to turn children into pies. But it always sounded like a cover for some type of hag activity.
I felt a tremendous amount of evil coming from there when we passed it.
Well, hags are very evil.
Yes, I suppose.
Do you know about what happened to it? It was destroyed by the time we were there.
Well, I imagine some heroes or a party of lore went through, saw evil, and crushed it out.
Actually, speaking of parties and things being crushed, do you know of a child that likes to reside near the rivers and talks about strange things? Like, you mentioned something
There
about
are
dragons.
old ghost stories of the boy in the lake
Yeah.
around while just playing, waiting for his mother or something like that.
Yeah. We heard the same
Now,
story.
We also met him.
As
Well-
far as we could.
Meeting him's interesting. I've assumed they were all just stories, but you know, when enough people repeat a story, it becomes truth. So perhaps there's some truth to the stories.
So that's
You
all
want
you
us-
got for us on that one?
I don't have any water to ask.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm.
All right. Come
Well,
across some
we'll
more
try to
information,
find
we'll let you know, and I'm sure we'll want to know as well. What do you think? Keep the... I don't know when we'll be able to visit you next, but I assume that someone that's been around this long doesn't really mind the delay.
Also, if we were to give you this orb, how would you even conceal it? No doubt the people of the manor would try to confiscate it from you, would they not?
I have a pretty... Despite the appearances, I have a pretty long leash. I can have my trinkets and treasures. Especially with the present lord and lady, they don't care too much about what I do. I might ask to have freedom of the manor one day soon here.
Just make sure you don't have an ant look at you wrong.
Tripping would be a threat. It would be probably harmful to the health of the manor if they encounter a dead woman who's tripped and fallen and killed herself every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the mess would be too much for the maids.
Nettie is good to me. She brings me the best soups and foods. So
That's nice.
should be understanding. But there's ways to age gracefully. Wheelchairs and such ways to. But really, I crave more than anything to have my powers returned to me. She tries to cast a spell in her arm. You can see that it's a practice move of a magician, of a mage, or it's refined and poised, but nothing happens. She's
How would you be able to restore your ability to spellcast?
when you fragment your soul, each part of you is shattered and broken down to the lowest level, to the barest form. You forget everything, anything. Everything you've ever known is shattered into a billion pieces. And as your soul heals, the two halves that you've broken them into reform and rejoin, bringing your two halves back to a whole once more of all of these shattered pieces. My soul has not reformed at all, so I have only bits and pieces of the past, bits and pieces of before I broke my soul. And a lot of that is all of my abilities as well haven't reformed.
Right.
So
restoring your soul would probably restore your abilities.
it would begin the process to becoming a perfect lich. Yes.
But yeah.
What about that comrade of yours? Do you want us to find out anything about them?
Zazimos?
No, the ones who died.
Ones who died. They were forgettable folk, served a purpose to an end.
Nice.
Wow, you really got Rob pinged down, haven't you?
It's an acquired taste that after you've lived a few hundred years, the mortals that come and go, they might have 20, 30 good years of adventuring in them, but they all cannot keep up to someone who transcends time. So I've seen adventuring parties come and go. I participated in more than I ever cared to, but fond memories occasionally.
All right then.
And how long did you say you've been here again? It was in the order of hundreds of years?
Hundreds of years, yes.
Okay.
Well, Velen, I'll give you a simple thank you. Because I don't think people do that much anymore around here. And mean it.
Yes, me too.
Well, she just puts it in a pocket and was like, thanks for that. That means a lot.
Oh.
I would like to detect for deception. No? Okay.
We'll be back.
I'll thank you with this as I give her a little bit of some tea that I've brewed.
Some
About
tea.
Well, hold up, you've just been standing here brewing tea? What?
Not brewed, like
Like a
the
tea bag.
powders that I've
Oh,
the
you
herbs,
have dried
the
tea,
herbs.
okay.
Yeah, the herbs I've brewed.
Okay.
Maybe you'll have some fond memories while you have this.
Well, I'll have a memory until the tea is gone. Thank you.
Sudden flash across her eyes when an other mesh gave her something.
Dev, you made the tea.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you weren't the one who
I'll
gave
hold the door
tea.
for everyone before we leave.
Thank
And
you.
as I close the door, I'll be like, she reminds me of my grandmother.
Don't really remember my grandmother very well.
very senile and disingenuous, but generally helpful.
This is
Yeah.
not the lady that you talked to in the grave.
No, that's Ava. Ava's adopted family. Everyone's adopted family, as far as I'm concerned.
There you go.
She's good people.
About keeping your last name. I think that's good. Even though I'm a vampire, I'm keeping my last name.
Why would you change it when you didn't get married? Makes no sense.
I don't know. I just wanted to say it's important, I think, to remember those that you loved.
Thank you, Camille. I will remind you. I'm sure you probably don't need it as a reminder, but what I'm trying to do will affect you. And I will be sure that you are actually the first person to know. For a long time, I thought that I wouldn't have to tell anyone.
I do assume that because I am now connected, when push comes to shove. But let's not think about that now.
No. I turn to Renok. If you want help with this, I'll need a vial of your blood. And maybe I can help you sniff to find some of your friends.
Have a pensive look on my face and quietly nod.
I'll hand you a vial. And I'll also tell you, but you're going to have to be a bit more upfront with us.
But if he does that now. He's got alcohol in his blood. I mean,
Well, I sobered up from that conversation a little bit.
quite a lot.
You've
Well, not
been
in that
pretty
time.
quiet and putting on airs about you for certain things, but you've got more secrets than all of us.
Probably sober up by the morning and then do that.
Ooh, exposed.
I'll promise that I won't deceive you. I promise I have not been deceiving you. And I promise that I will tell you more.
It's not a deception that I'm mentioning, Renok. We trust you, but the fact of the matter is there's many things that you've been omitting, things that you haven't told us, that have just not come up, that are very relevant. And you just kept quiet. And while I don't appreciate it, I understand it was most likely necessary. So I will not hold it against you. Because you, like them, are some of the only people that are still standing alongside and trying to do what we're trying to do here. That matters to me a lot more in action than apathy or words that we've heard from other people. And all of us have the ability to go do something about it. Even Grim, who is
Who's drunk
sleeping.
somewhere.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
Cut the Grim snoring loud.
Yeah.
Bubble coming out of his nose.
But, you know.
You guys, the party kind of trickles out of the library, you know, probably heading to bed or unsure, but as you head into the courtyard, Ven Haverlight stops and grabs Mesh by the arm and pulls him to a quiet corner, and she says, I've seen you before, but I can tell you're not the same person as the one that I've seen. So you might be uniquely equipped to help with the problem. Come see me in Krezik, and I can share more information there. It's not safe to talk here. And, you know, just as quickly as she kind of grabbed you, she heads off again.
Well, what was his name again?
Ven Haverlight.
He has a light.
Her or him?
Her.
Okay.
I gave you a picture of her, I thought, but this is her again.
Where's that picture?
We have a lot of names and people.
Ben Haverlight. What?
No, haven't seen that face before.
We got a bunch of names and people's
feel
photos
like
at the dinner, and she was definitely there.
Okay.
Scroll up and
She
find one.
was.
We had a ton of people
recognize
at the dinner. right before we had the whole party with the masks and stuff. Like, there's a ton of photos.
Yeah, I do remember actually.
Like
She's
the warden and
senator
yeah, go ahead.
from the Church of Kalemvor.
The senator, you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think she gave you a little bit of information saying that this was like the Church of Kalemvor has a business branch and a, you know, religious branch. So
Oh,
she's the senator in the business branch.
okay.
She said she framed it. She said it's like illicit politics of the church or something.
She works in the Dunder Mifflin branch.
But on that bombshell, I think we have to call it there.
Okay.
All right, good job, everybody.
This was really good.
Good
That's a
job.
lot of information.
Yeah.
This is the fun D&D sessions, man. These are good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oof,
Lot
like,
of
I don't even know
A lot of
what
fun
we should do
exposition.
next. We have a lot of different pathways. to
Also,
take.
Mash, good call on going to Velen. That was a major big
Yeah.
dump.
Absolutely.
That was a good idea.
We'll need to make sure I'll highlight this VOD probably tomorrow and then shoot it over to Dallan so he can have a fun digest. There's something to look forward to. For you guys on the live stream, this has been a pretty long VOD. About it says 2.5 hours, but I think it's closer to 3 for us because we started a little.
Long. I lost
Yeah,
track
it's
of
5
time.
minutes.
My
5
alarm was
minutes or
going
3
off
hours.
behind me and I couldn't hear it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Chef, excellent session. Give Chef a month, guys, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll see you guys when we see you. No confirmations or denials when the next game will be, but I've talked with Harry and Cari and I and Harry and Mark and Aster should be on the following week, but he confirmed with me today that tomorrow there'll be no Eberron game, but next week there'll be Eberron game.
Not on the 29th.
Chef, do you have any
but on the
quick
6th.
drops for next week for Barovia or no Barovia? It is
I'm available next week.
it is community day for us Pokemon goers, but it is a new shiny, but a very long hundo hunt. Like it's been around for a while.
I'm good on hunters, but I
What one is
think
it?
Jodie
Jodie,
wanted to do it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because
It's Sawaddle.
because I'm a returning player. Like I don't have that, so I'd like to do the community day for Sawaddle.
I have unfortunately brought her back into the game.
Is it a
because-
Saturday or a
I came
Sunday?
back to
I
the
forget.
game.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me check that following week very quickly here before we close stream, just so I can see.
So Saturday the 5th. 2
So
o'clock.
if we look at next Saturday, it is a 2 to 5 event that has a bonus event post as well. So there'll still be stuff for you guys to collect. There is a raid day the following week that we don't have really any information about, but it is immediately following the rocket takeover.
Mega raid day.
So it's probably a new mega.
I'm thinking Metagross. We still haven't gotten that.
Well,
We don't wanna
either
go-
way, we can talk about that one, but we need to decide about next week as soon as we can. We don't have to do this live on broadcast if you guys are not comfortable. I understand.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
So-
good to know. Good to know.
Well, there's
Yeah,
also the
let's go ahead and
community
turn off the broadcast. We don't know about next week, guys. We'll figure it out.
Is it Saturday yet?
Bye.
Dear Publix.
See you in the mist soon.
Bye.
day. Bye-bye.
Very well.
Oh. Just for